The 2011 Western Hockey League Championship has definitely had its fair share of drama through the first 4 games. Last weekend, the Portland Winterhawks and Kootenay Ice split their first 2 games at the Rose Garden. Then last Tuesday and Wednesday, the Ice were able to take both games 3 and 4 in overtime at the Cranbrook Recplex. Some huge hits, some great saves, and plenty of goal scoring has made this series one to remember. Can the Ice close it out tonight on the road? Can the Hawks stay alive with a victory at home? Find out. Game 5 in the City of Roses is next. Live in Portland, Oregon on the shores of the Columbia River, we're back in the City of Roses for Game 5 of the WHL Championship between the hometown Winterhawks and the Kootenay Ice, who feature Matt Fraser, the 20-year-old, right now leading the WHL in goals with 15 in the playoffs, yet the overtime winner in Game 4 Wednesday night. His test a tough one tonight, trying to seal the deal against Ryan Johansson and the hometown Hawks, the draft pick of the Columbus Blue Jackets, leading the WHL playoffs with 13 goals and 15 assists. Hello and welcome inside the Rose Garden. Joey Kenward live on location once again for Shaw and our viewers in the Pacific Northwest. You know, it's Game 5, and it is Friday the 13th, but folks, I think you can tell I'm not seeing this as an unlucky situation to be in right now. We got members of the Rosebuds Ice Dance team here trying to cheer this home team back into the series. They're down 3-1. The Hawks get a big bonus tonight. Brad Ross back in the lineup after sitting out the last 2 games with suspension. He spoke moments ago with our own Cam Moon.
Brad, back after a 2-game suspension. I'm sure you're fired up to play tonight. What do you need to do here this evening?
Yeah, you know, I'm going to keep my game the same. I'm going to go out there and be physical and try and agitate out there, and, you know, hopefully I can put a few goals on the board.
What's the general feeling of the team right now?
You know, we're excited. You know, we're down 3-1, but you see a lot of teams come back from this, and we just got to take it one period at a time.
All right, Brad, thanks a lot for this.
Thank you.
Joey.
All right, thank you very much, Cam. Girls, are we fired up for Game 5? Obviously, so is our play-by-play team. Let's head to the broadcast booth now. Dan Russell and Bill Wilms, take it away, guys.
Not quite too many men on the ice, but thanks very much for that, Joey. All right, the Kootenay Ice are 3-0 when they've been in this situation. That is a chance to eliminate a team and win the series. What do they have to do tonight, Bill?
Well, they can't play out of character, keep doing exactly what they're doing. Be patient, could be a long night, and also got to get a big game on a Lewin. You know, they have that championship mentality. They were down 1. That was a great play by Sirwaka to tie it. And then the overtime winner by Joe Antilla, his second of the playoffs. And how about Cody Eakin, number 9 for this team? My goodness, he's playing like a man possessed. Been all over. I don't think the Winterhawks have had a real answer for him. Scored twice in the last game. He's got 9 points in the series. And then really in overtime, he was a big factor there. But look at when the Ice score the overtime goal, Dan, how they stagger the ice. Count the passes. 1 pass. 2 passes, over to Fraser, 3rd pass. That's the way they enter the zone. With depth, they cover the ice in all directions. They've been so good at doing that. And again, Portland hasn't had a real answer for that.
Well, you know, Portland is down 3-1. That's obviously not a good situation, but they should take solace in the fact that it could be 2-2. I mean, it could even be 3-1 the other way, I guess, if you count all the overtimes. And one of their great players just had his best game.
Yeah, Ryan Johansson got 2 goals the other night. He knew he had to start scoring. He did that. Twice he provided the team with a lifeline. They were down 2-0. He scores his goal to get him within 1. They fell behind 4-2. He gets this goal to get him within 1. And he's just been so good. Now, Barchi's been hot. Johansson's been warm. Brady's been solid. They need a couple more forwards going. Will Brad Ross maybe be that guy tonight?
The 2011 Championship Series back here in Portland, a sellout crowd. They're going to make a lot of noise, and we're going to hear that noise when we come back for the puck drop of Game 5 on Shaw.
We stand on guard for thee, God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang alive, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Almost 11,000 fans settling into the Rose Garden for Game 5 as we go downstairs to Cam Moon.
Cody, a chance to close out this series. What type of game do you need to play tonight to win?
Smart and simple, I think. Take away their time and space and, get pucks on net.
All right, good luck. Thanks for that.
Thanks a lot.
He is the leading point getter in the championship series. He has 9. That's a 3-point lead over 2 others. Let's meet your Waste Management starting goaltenders. Nathan Lewin, he's made 498 saves in these playoffs, 15 goals against in the final on 148 shots. Matt Carruth in the final, 17 goals against on 150 shots. The referees, Pat Smith, he worked game number 1. Nathan Wheeler worked game number 3. Pat Smith in his 9th year, Wheeler in his 5th year. The 2 linesmen from Vancouver, Justin Hull and Chris Sweeting. And the Portland Winterhawks, for the first time in these playoffs, facing elimination as Game 5 gets underway. Kootenay in the dark uniforms, and that's McNabb with the puck, getting it over to Rintoul. And Rintoul's pass off Ismon's skate. Back the other way, here comes Berchi in over the line. Berchi's shot up high over top of the Kootenay goal. Comes over on this side, Cunningham. Bumped off the puck by Steele. Boomer rolls the puck in. It's a delayed offside, so Rutkowski will have lots of room to move the puck. Let's go Hawks. That chant begins as Rutkowski tries to get it out of his own zone. Niederreiter helps the cause, and there's Nino with the puck as he brings it in over the blue line. Nothing but black-shirted Kootenay ice. And so Niederreiter's shot easily handled by Lewin. And out of their own zone, the ice send it down the ice, so that's icing, and the face-off all the way back.
Well, let's take a look inside the series. We played 4 games. Take a look at the shots on goal differential for the Kootenay Ice, Portland Winterhawks. Do the math for you, folks. The Kootenay Ice are averaging 40-plus shots per game. That is a team that you think only plays defense. No, they get a lot of offense out of their guys as well. But the big thing tonight, Dan, for me, the Portland Winterhawks can't let the refereeing be a distraction. They have to take ownership of the situation. They have to say, listen, we got ourselves in a hole. We've been close so many games. We now have to get ourselves out of that hole. Look inside themselves. Don't look outside for problems.
Brad Ross on the ice in this championship series for the first time since game number 2. In fact, it was about halfway through game number 2, so a 2-game suspension, but really you could say 2.5 games as the puck is shot in by Aronson. It goes around the boards on the far side. Backhanded out by Fraser, the overtime hero from game number 4. And now back in their own zone, Leach gets it to Martin. Martin's lead pass picked off, and Johansson trying to go wide on Leach. One hand on the stick. Leach does a good job to poke it off Johansson's stick, and Antilla starts back with Fraser. Fraser has Reinhardt way over there on the right wing, but he can't get him the puck, and Boychuk starts back the other way for Portland. Partially overskated it, but then he backhands it into the ice zone. Rintoul gives chase on the far side. It's Eakin who backhands it to Rintoul, who rolls it into Portland's territory, and Kootenay will peel back, some of them will, to make the line change. 2 minutes gone in the first period. Back to get the puck is Wotherspoon. As it comes around these boards, Wren poking at it with Cherwonka. Eakin in there as well. Wren gets another chance to move it. Nice pass. Berchi collects it. He's waiting for some reinforcements as he comes in over the blue line. Berchi going wide. His centering pass off the stick high onto this side. Winterhawks in on the forecheck. Cunningham trying to dig the puck free. Did. Berchi throws it in front. Score! Wotherspoon comes in from the blue line to score his first goal of the playoffs, and what a time, 2.5 minutes into game number 5.
Well, that's certainly the way the Winterhawks wanted to start. They want to score first. They want to get the crowd involved in this. Here's 3 guys in the corner. That's the forecheck. Look at the top of your screen. That's a good play by Wotherspoon. He recognized every single one of the Kootenay Ice players were on a line from the blue line of the net on the one side of that ice. That is just great recognition by Wotherspoon to go down Main Street, take that pass, and bury it.
2:26 the time of the scoring play.
Scored 2:26 of the first period by number 26, Tyler Wotherspoon. With assist to number 14, Greg Cunningham. And number 27, Sven Berchi.
So there's the scoring play, and the Winterhawks get the kind of start they wanted in this building tonight. First real scoring chance in the hockey game, and it is buried by Wotherspoon, who's in his second year in the WHL. He's from Surrey in the lower mainland of British Columbia. And Leach gets the puck. Plays it up towards Reinhardt. Aronson's got it now for Portland. Aronson up to Johansson. Johansson going wide. Goes down. He'll take a penalty, or he'll draw a penalty, I should say. Extra attacker now coming out on the ice for Portland. Nice move by Aronson. Holds, passes. Chance at the side for Nino Ryder is stopped by Lewin, and now we get the penalty being assessed. And this one will come at 3:39. It's a trip.
We're getting a real good look at the goal that opened the scoring here by Wotherspoon of the Portland Winterhawks, and they are going to go on the power play right after this. This is the forecheck what we're going to talk about on the far right of your screen. Here it comes. Now you get 3 Winterhawks in there. 1, 2, backdoor pressure there, and 1, 2, 3, 4. You count all the ice in that corner, and that opens that side of the ice for Wotherspoon. As I said, great recognition. Portland on the power play.
In the power play department, Portland has 2 in this series on 13 opportunities. We're glowing, of course, about the Kootenay penalty kill on home ice. Not quite as good on the road. More on that later as Morrow takes a shot, and Lewin kicks it out. Cody Eakin has it poked off his stick, but it is sent down the ice. So Leach, the penalized player.
And that puts Portland on the power play.
Leipzig going in. Holds the puck. Morrow at the blue line. Has Rutkowski on this side. Morrow still handling the puck. Back it goes to Johansson. Morrow doesn't take the shot. Rutkowski over on this side. Rutkowski plays it down to Berchi. Or check that, Niederreiter. There's a high shot that Lewin makes the save on. Ross right in front of the net, but there is no rebound.
No question, Brad Ross is the kind of guy you want in your lineup. He's a guy you hate to play against, you love to have on your team. You know, he gets into people's faces with his penalty minutes. They're not just infractions. You like the guys like Mitch Callahan from Kelowna, Travis Iwanek, Edmonton, Kramer from Spokane. You know, like Brian Birch says, he's got that Wolverine mentality. He's a factor for this hockey club.
King gets the puck for Kootenay, and he sends it down the ice. Just over a minute remaining in the power play. Aronson, lead pass, broken up, rolls to Lewin. He gets it to Rintoul, off the glass. Cunningham trying to knock it down, comes back towards Aronson, and the puck comes out to the neutral zone. Cunningham getting an assist on the first goal. He's got assists in 6 straight games. That's him chasing the puck in the corner, number 14 for Portland. Dislodges the puck, and it rolls now for Berchi. Back to Aronson. Here's Pouliot. Aronson just holding that blue line. Berchi Again to Pouliot. On that far side, Cunningham. Now Pouliot's going to take the shot just wide of the net. You knew they were building for something, and it was Pouliot's point shot, but he didn't hit the target. Cunningham on that far side. In front! Oh, just wide of the net. What a glorious opportunity for Taylor Aronson, but he could not cash in on the power play, and that would have been a 2-0 goal. He had half the net to shoot at. Long lead pass. Shot. Boychuk is kicked out. The rebound. Leipzig can't reach it. Great start for Portland. They lead 1-0 as Reinhardt brings it in over the blue line. Penalty over. Kootenay back at full strength. Goalie goes down. Fans a little bit upset on that as McNabb collects the puck. He gave it away. Leipzig hit by McNabb, and now it's lifted up high, and Rutkowski waiting for it to come down. Reinhardt now in over the line. Reinhardt shot. Easy save for Caruth.
I don't know if it's part of the game plan, but Wotherspoon is open to scoring for Portland, and this time Aronson, another defenseman, is going to get a chance on the power play. They want to get, I think the Winterhawks have done a good job of getting Lewin to move from one side of the net to the other, back and forth, and this time, Aronson gets to the front of the net. Again, a defenseman in that spot fails to convert. Falls just as he gets that pass put on his stick. Good job by the Kootenay Ice to weather that power play. Not only do they weather it, they kill it off perfectly. They now get the face-off down in the Portland Winterhawks zone.
Had Aronson scored, that would have been his first of the playoffs. I mentioned on the goal that was Wotherspoon's first, and I stand to be corrected. That's his third. So my apologies for that. Third goal of these playoffs for Wotherspoon at 2:26.
Pretty much all season, the Portland Winterhawks have been large and in charge. This is the first time this season that they're on the brink of elimination. And I think what Mike Johnson's team has to do a better job of is grinding it out. They've just got to make sure they can play the same kind of game that the Kootenay Ice play, because the Kootenay Ice will grind you to death. They just play their positions absolutely perfectly, and they force you to make some pretty good plays to beat them. And they get a lot of shots on goal.
The last time they faced elimination was round 2 last year against Vancouver. Eakin now to King on the backhand, throwing it in front, and Caruth found it, gobbled it up, and holds on.
Again, the anticipation by Cody Eakin on the turnover. That puck is going to come out of the Portland zone, and it's not going to get very far. Keep your eye on 9 White. He's going to pick it off. Well, this is Kevin. Here it comes right here. Now, coming back, watch Eakin. Perfect. Knew where it was going. Look at that acceleration. That's what he does well. And once Eakin gets over the blue line, he's looking for somebody to pass it to. That's really the mentality that he always has.
Long shot from the line. Save, rebound. They poke at the puck. And Caruth finds it again. Isman, one of the big stories of Game 4 on the doorstep. Isman with 4 points last game, and he went right to the net.
18 career playoff wins for that guy, Mac Caruth. That's the most in the history of the Portland Winterhawks, and considering they've been to the Memorial Cup 2 times, you know what kind of job he's doing in the playoffs. Look at the traffic in front of the net, and as you called it, Isman almost jammed that thing in his backhand.
Yes, Caruth passing Darryl May Sr. for most wins. And that's a long-standing record, so good for him. Puck poked out by Portland. Scramble in the neutral zone for possession. Morrow's got it. 7:15 gone. And the opening period as Boomer brings it in and rolls it to Caruth. And again, he smothers it. The Kootenay Ice player dumped right afterwards.
The Portland Winterhawks have lost games in overtime and could well be in a different position here. Don't take not a thing away from the Kootenay Ice, but they've had their chances in overtime. They just haven't been able to convert. It's been a great series, and it's always a team that works hardest, works most efficiently at this point that's going to get the job done. And Dan, we've seen it all in the playoffs. There isn't a team in the WHL that works harder than the Kootenay Ice.
We've been talking about who scores first in their records. Kootenay 14-0 when they score first. And we really built that up. But Portland also unbeaten when they score first. They're at 7-0. There's a shot, and now I know it's half as impressive as there's a shot, and again, Caruth makes the save. So 14-0 and 7-0 for these two teams when they score first. Berchi trying to get it to the neutral zone. He did, but he partially fanned on it and shot right back in again. Kootenay's had 2 or 3 pretty good shifts here after allowing the first goal and taking the first penalty. Cunningham now to Berchi going wide. Berchi from back of the net. Rintoul trying to hit him. Still Berchi going for the puck, and he comes up with it. Dumps it down to Ty Ratty. Ratty dumps it now for Cunningham. As they work the cycle, Berchi takes the shot. That's blocked. And here comes Fraser. 4 Kootenay ice through the neutral zone. It's a 4-on-2, and a shot by Rintoul just goes wide. Another chance in front and just out of the reach of the Kootenay player. And back comes Portland. Berchi avoids Antilla's hip check. He throws it to the net. Rebound in front. Oh, and it's just poked off the target. Kootenay player clearing it. Here's a centering pass again, and this time Lewin gets his arm on Johansson's shot from the deep slot. And the Winterhawks' explosive offense back on display there.
Sven Barchi's been so good getting pucks deep. When he comes down that wing, boy, if you don't get a piece of him in this spot, he'll change speeds on you, just like he did there. Love the way Lewin comes out. Look where he comes out to make that save. He gets a piece of that, knocks it wide. This is a second chance. Nathan Lewin has to be big today. He's got to be great, and he's certainly on the way to having an absolutely all-star type of game, and nobody can be happier about that than Chris Knobloch.
9 shots to 7 in the first 8.5 minutes in favor of Portland. Ross trying to get the puck back in the net, but Leach got it first. Leach backhands it to Eakin. Eakin gets it out, and here comes Cherwonka with King. King takes the shot, but is tipped out of play by Wren, and we'll get a face-off in the Portland zone.
We've talked about Nathan Lewin and getting drafted this year. His 17-year-old draft season was a bit of turmoil, but Dan, what he's done in the playoffs has alerted a lot of people to the fact that you're going to take this guy with a pick. It's not if he gets drafted, but where he's going to get drafted. And I'll tell you the allure of getting a 19-year-old in the draft. They could turn him pro right away next year. They could put him right into the American Hockey League. He would do a good job there.
And with all the offensive talent that he's faced on other teams, he's had 10 games in these playoffs where he's allowed 2 goals or less.
Amazing.
10 games against all that talent.
You don't think his hockey club plays with a lot of confidence when you know you've got that backing you up? Absolutely.
Martin, lead pass up to Cherwonka. He gets it back, flips it into the Portland zone. Bodies flying in the neutral zone. Wren's got the puck. Brought in over the blue line, but no further as it's poked off the stick. And now Dirk following it up. Gets it to the Portland line. Here's Montgomery. A shot through a screen, a partial screen that is, of Wren. Now at the other blue line, long shot goes wide off the backboards. Controlled, Wotherspoon's without a stick. It's been chopped out of his hand, or he broke it somehow. But Portland able to get it out. Shot back in again. Wotherspoon gets the new stick. That's him with the puck right now. And that's his stick lying in the slot area. Up to Niederreiter, missed him. As it goes to Ryan Johansson now. Johansson gets it to Nino Niederreiter. Niederreiter from behind the net with Ross. This line back intact with Ross returning from the suspension. That's him with the puck back at the net. Protecting it rather well. Ross plays it back to Aronson. Long shot. It changed directions. I think Niederreiter got his stick on it. Fraser now off the boards. And here comes Reinhardt. Reinhardt gathering some more speed. Throws a weak one towards the goal. That hit Pouliot. And Portland has it. Past the halfway mark of this opening period. Berchi over the line. Berchi hit hard and knocked down, but Ratty follows up. Ratty cutting to the middle, and you can't maintain possession. Here comes Fraser now. Fraser has Antilla going to the net, but that's Martin taking the shot, and it's deflected out of play with 9:02 to go. First period, Wotherspoon, the goal scorer for Portland. The Winterhawks lead 1-0 on Shaw.
Here with Mike Johnson on the Winterhawk bench. Mike, your thoughts on the way your team started here tonight?
I thought we had a good start. We had a couple, besides the goal, Johansson had a great chance there. And it's about getting some of those scoring chances early. I thought we got the crowd into it. but they had a little bit of a pushback you saw there. We've got to make sure off the rush we don't give them late chances off the rush.
Key to have a guy up high.
Oh, for sure. We got to have that high guy and make sure he's coming back.
Mike, thanks for this.
Thanks.
And this is Kootenay Ice at their best. Watch James Martin eliminate Barchi along the wall. This is what you have to do to slow this guy down. Two things. Martin makes sure that he's plastered there. Then watch the guys in blue, control the gap. Where's this puck going? Gap, 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 active sticks. And really, Matt Fraser picks that puck up and away the ice goes. Great job.
Offensive zone faceoff for the Ice. Kevin King going in to take it. King quietly has a point streak of 7 straight games. Long shot, that goes wide. He's been a great player for Kootenay in the final. That's King with it now. He's also got 4 goals in this championship series. King plays it back to the line, but it's too high to handle for Rintoul. And Lewin way out of his net now, plays it to McNabb. McNabb almost lost it. In fact, did. Barchi throws it in front of the net, and it's Cunningham poking it wide of the goal. Cherwonka on the far side for Kootenay. Up for Cody Eakin. Back for Cherwonka with his long reach. He's trying to bust through. Here's King holding it, shooting it, and it's tipped over top the net. Came off the boards for Cody Eakin. Eakin being watched by Ross, but he gets away from him. He tries to find McNabb. He can't. And then a pass by Ratty was picked off. Kootenay player dumped. Eakin can't keep the puck in at the blue line. 8 minutes to go in the first. Rintoul. Nice pass. Cherwonka shot, score! No? Oh, wow, I thought that was in. It hit the goalpost, the inside of the post. I think they may even look at that again, but it's still 1-0. Here's Leach coming back the other way. Well, from my angle here, it looked like he had the goal. Well, he definitely had the goalie beat, but he must have hit the inside of the post. So now we got a penalty coming up. And we're going to get my favorite call, Bill. We're going to get the interference and we're going to get the embellishment. They're both going off.
Well, let's have a look at what actually had transpired here. Rintoul's going to make the pass to Cherwonka. Nice job of sliding Cherwonka right between 3 guys. Take a look at that. There's the shot. Follow the puck. What a noise that Carruth loves. You know what? If that puck comes off the back, off that post, hits him in the back, it's in the net. But Matt Carruth dodged the bullet there. Great shot. Sometimes the goaltender's in such good position that you can't help but hit the post. It looked like Matt Carruth slid a little to his right there, might have lost a bit of the net, and that's what Cherwonka was aiming for.
You see what the puck did after it hit the post? It hit Carruth right in the back on his numbers, and it hit his numbers and went about 8 inches wide of the net. It's a game of inches. So we play 4-on-4 hockey. And now that puck goes out of play. And we'll get another face-off as they announce the penalties here.
Always interesting with the mobility that both these teams have on the back end as far as their defense is concerned. You know, who does take advantage of this extra little bit of ice room here?
Back to Leach at the blue line. Puts the puck wide. Pouliot's got it. Lost it to steal Boomer. Kootenay advantage here as they have possession in the offensive zone. Leach, long shot, deflects by Boomer right into Carruth. That's a good save by Carruth.
You know, one of the problems that the Winterhawks have, even with the last line change, it's tough to match lines against the ice because they're so deep at all positions. You know, they've always given you trouble no matter who they put on the ice. This is a shot from that point, way over by the boards, deflected, and Carruth again, good 6'3" position save. Doesn't know exactly where it goes after the deflection, but he knows if he gets to that spot, makes himself large, chances are puck's going to hit him.
Each team with 9 shots on goals. The 4-on-4 continues. Eakin. Still Eakin with the puck. Comes back here to Dirk. Cross-ice pass. Long shot. That goes wide of the net.
The unsportsmanlike conduct penalty is for diving.
They're just announcing. Boy, they made a big deal of the announcement, but they wanted to let the fans know that the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty was for diving. Morrow tries to bring it in. He could not. Broken up, and here comes King the other way. Martin heading towards the front of the net. King can't get it past the Portland defense. And here's Berchi going back the other way. Berchi has Ratty. Ratty holding it, waiting. As he dumps the puck down, Dirk has it now. Reinhardt open on this wing, but Dirk continues to skate with the puck. Now he gets it to Reinhardt. Winding up for a shot. Dirk in front of the net. He couldn't dig it out of his skate. Centering pass for Antillo and off his stick. And Dirk coming close to his first goal of these playoffs. Now 6 minutes remaining in the first period as McNabb plays it to Reinhardt. McNabb trying to get loose in front of the net. There's the pass. McNabb right on top of Caruth. He could not pull the trigger. The puck is still loose. And McNabb gets it in front for Reinhardt. And Reinhardt couldn't get the shot away. Johansson starts back. He gets past Reinhardt. Johansson throws it down low. Pouliot tries to work it in front. 4-on-4 coming to an end. Penalized players back on the ice. And that pass picked off, but goes right back to Aronson. Aronson in front of the net. But a shot not taken, and another one blocked by Boychuk. Here's Pouliot. Down to Boychuk. Boychuk fighting off a check, gets it to Pouliot, and his shot sails wide of the net. Antilla gets it for Kootenay. And again, the ice seems to be an issue here. Not the team, but the ice surface as teams are having trouble. Again, with some of the bouncing pucks. There's a shot on Caruth, and he holds on to stop the play.
One of the things they always ask about defensemen, and Braden McNabb, no exception, can he defend? Well, they know he can defend. How about the job he can do in the offensive end? That's McNabb there. He stays with the puck, gets it to Reinhardt, and I love the way the Portland Winterhawks answer back. They come back, they get 3 guys in to the top of the hash mark, and you got a feeling this is, Dan, when the game really is going to heat up, when they're really going to get going, I believe you're going to see a lot of that at both ends of the ice.
McNabb had his 12-game point scoring streak snapped in a 5-4 win of all things in game number 4. He was a -1 in that game, but he's a +21 in the playoffs, #1 in the WHL postseason.
I like the group of Buffalo defense in the Western Hockey League. I like Mark Pesic at Edmonton, Matt McKenzie, Tri-City. I like Corey Finhage at Kamloops. I think Buffalo's done a nice job. You know, Tyler Myers playing with Buffalo. Wouldn't it be surprising, or would it be surprising if Braden McNabb ended up playing as a partner with Tyler Myers? Chris Knobloch wouldn't be surprised to see it the way his big stud McNabb has been playing.
And I'm sure he loved everything about his game the other night, except he was in the penalty box 4 times, which is probably a couple too many at least.
Well, you're getting to that point in the first period, 1-0 Portland, 4:34 left. A goal between now and the end of the period looms awfully big, especially, obviously at any time, but especially in playoff time.
There's Cunningham trying to chase it down. Cunningham puts it wide of the net. Great effort there for Craig Cunningham. And you know, every night he gives it all, so when he's facing elimination, there's a shot. Is that one in? The red light's on. I'm not going to say that one's in, but you know what? The red light came on. The Kootenay players celebrated, and I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait for a video replay. It's real close, I can tell you that. Really close. I think it bounced right on the line. Anyway, Portland's got a chance. Their shot is knocked down. We'll have to wait for a whistle. And here comes Kootenay out of their own zone. Shot in by Boomer. Caruth leaves it back at the net. Wren's got the puck. I hope somebody noted the time, because a lot of time has gone by since that red light went on, and they'll have to tack time on if there was a goal. I'm kind of thinking there wasn't, but we'll see. King shoots it in. And as it comes around the boards, it comes right out to Dirk. It'd be funny if the clock ran out the whole period, then they scored, and we'd have to play the last 4 minutes again. This would all be for naught. Now we're getting word from the truck that they're kind of thinking it might be a goal. So this game could actually be tied when we get a whistle.
Folks, if you're watching this game back in Cranbrook, put your glasses on. You want to focus real close on what we're going to show you.
Not only that, but get ready for a long video replay too. I think they're going to look at this a lot. And now we're down to 2.5 minutes to go, and I believe there was over 4.5 minutes to go when the red light went on. Reinhardt brings it in over the line. The worst scenario, of course, for the WHL in any hockey league is if Portland scores a goal before there's a whistle, and instead of it being a 2-0, if the puck is in the net, imagine how that'll go over with this crowd. Reinhardt throws it towards the front of the net. What do you think, Bill? You've looked at the preview a couple times. You think it's going to be a goal?
Dan, I'm thinking 60-40, it's a goal.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, the one thing is it was not called a goal on the ice, obviously, so they'll have to make sure it's conclusive as that long shot goes. I've never seen this, though, where it's gone this far after a red light and a pending video review.
Tell you what, if it is called a goal, this crowd could go absolutely bananas.
Reinhardt brings it in over the line. Now it's offside, and with 1:25 to go, there's the horn. That'll indicate that the referee has to go and look at something that happened about 3 minutes ago. And now we just sit back and wait, and it's all yours, Bill. Go ahead.
Well, a Steel Boomer's going to get the chance on that deflection there. Okay, it hits the post. Now it bounces. We're going to have a lot of looks at this, folks. The key is as it comes down, it's vertical. The puck is not flat. It's not laying flat. Watch it. It's on edge right there. Has it hit the ice there, guys? You see, you can see white between the goal line and the puck. If the puck at that point is actually on the ice.
It doesn't have to be on the ice.
No, you're right. Just got to be over the line. If that angle is straight above, which it looks like it is, there's white between. There you go.
That's Kevin Minch on the phone. He's director of officiating.
Give us that look right there, guys. What a great job they do in the truck force. It doesn't get any better than that. Watch this, folks. I'm leaning over on my monitor, Dan, to get right along that goal line. I cannot see how you can call that no goal. Well, the celebration, look at that bench. They've called a meeting over there, the Kootenay Ice have, and they know why.
So the Kootenay Ice have scored. Boy, it's been a strange period. I thought they had one earlier. Clearly they did not. That one I was going to jump the gun, but it did appear that that was pretty close. The red light, the goal judge put it on, so.
Well, I tell you what, he'd have to have x-ray eyes. He'd have to have the best eyes I've ever seen in a goal judge if he saw that puck land exactly the way it ended up on our replay. There's Boomer. He's pretty sure, although he stays with it. He's just looking for the call. You don't know if he's trying to sell it or not. But I would doubt anybody on the ice, referees included, goal judges included, anybody would have seen what we're seeing right here. Watch it, folks. I defy you to see that puck in that spot being on the ice. You can't do that without that overhead camera.
So Steel Boomer, 4 goals. That's an interesting one. Now we go back to over 4 minutes remaining. Now the clock is stopped because of the icing and the face-off all the way back with 4:06. They announced the Steel Boomer goal. Isman and Hurley, it appears, getting the assists. And the fans now realizing, or did right away when they started announcing it, it got all quiet as Isman brings the puck in. Rolls it to the corner, he and Ratty colliding. Reinhardt takes out the puck, Reinhardt throws it in front! And again, you have a little bit of a pregnant pause wondering where that puck is. And Carruth made the save as Boomer was right on his doorstep. Wow, the ice, they sure come in bunches. All of a sudden the shots are 14-10 for Kootenay. Portland had the good start here. Early goal, early power play, some early chances. But now they're on their heels again. McNabb waiting for the puck to come down. Plays it up the boards. Early hit, but the puck rolls in over the line for Sam Reinhart. Younger brother of Max, 15-year-old, controlling the puck in the corner. Gets it to Montgomery, who had a chance up high. There's a little bit of room on that short side. Now the puck goes up high, and Montgomery trying to glove it down. Throws it in front. They're banging at the puck. Sam Reinhart had a quick poke at it. And back comes Leipzig. Leipzig making moves. Leipzig trying to go around Dirk. Still Leipzig with the puck. Back to the line. Pouliot as Leipzig is taken out at the end, and you can hear that big thump. There's a long shot that's knocked down by Boychuk. Squirts free. Peters has the puck. Taylor Peters trying to work it in front, could not. Hurley now. Over on that far side, Montgomery. He gets it inside the Portland line, and now we've got a whistle, and Montgomery is down. And again, more feeling creeping in, and Aronson goes in to have a poke at McNabb. Montgomery down again. Bill, I took my eye off Montgomery as the puck left his stick, but he's favoring, it seems, his right knee. And there's going to be a Boychuk penalty. Did you see it, Bill?
No, well, I mean, I think he was going off the ice on a line change. And, you know, the one guy that was in front of the bench for the Kootenay Ice is a guy that you don't mind having there. That's Hurley. He likes to be in this kind of traffic situation, but he just wants to play that puck. He gets hit by Boychuk and kind of spun around. I think, oh, I see. The stick gets him
right there
in that spot where it raises your voice an octave. You just hope that nobody off that Portland bench took a poke at anybody. That's the danger sometimes when play happens around the net like that. Well, you know, they're showing it on the replay up here now, but they don't have the same look we do. They don't see where that stick of Riley Boychuk ends up.
Yeah, watch his stick. It's right
Ooh,
there.
ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Not supposed to do that. That breaks the code, and it gives you a 2-minute minor. And there's an extra player in the box. So is that because he's getting 10-minute misconduct as well? But if that's, well, let's pick it up.
17:28 of the first. For Kootenay, number 25, Brendan Hurley, 2 minutes for roughing. For Portland, number 17, Riley Boychuk,
on the board as well.
Slashing and 2 minutes for roughing, double minor.
So Boychuk gets double minor. And that gives Kootenay their first power play. And in the series, they're 5 for 19. Their most recent power play goal ended game number 4. Here's a chance for Fraser. His shot, and that hits Caruth. Goes to this corner. That was Fraser, who scored the power play goal in overtime. Boomer knocked off stride, but got the puck to Eakin. Eakin gets it back to McNabb. McNabb holding it, shooting it high and wide of the net. Winterhawks get it to the deep slot. Boomer can't hold it in. And now it goes to Eakin as he brings it inside the Portland zone. Eakin takes a shot. That goes off the target. Cunningham on the far side. And the puck hits a broken stick down there. Wotherspoon trying to get it. Eakin takes it off his stick ever so briefly. Then gets it back again. Back to Reinhart. Over to McNabb. Here's his shot. Stopped in front. I think McNabb broke his stick as well. He did. Oh boy, there's a lot of broken sticks in this period.
Okay, how good have the Ice been this period? 16-10. They've outshot the Portland Winterhawks, and you know they've got them playing exactly the kind of game the Kootenay Ice want to play. A grinding game, a positional game. Hasn't been a lot of play down in that zone, and the little bit of play that's been there, Lewin's been really, really solid in goal for the Ice, and he has to be tonight.
Well, if Kootenay goes on to win this series, I think shots against, goals against, that's certainly been a factor as Martin takes a shot. I mean, to allow 17 shots in your own building, to be over 40 against most nights, that's not usually what happens when you win a championship, allowing 40-plus shots.
Yeah, the Ice probably more than any team we've seen in a number of years, Dad, and we've seen a lot of them. Obviously, our perfect example of hockey's a blue-collar game played by skilled people. It's not the other way around. It's just a mentality that, you know, you work as a team, you're all on the same page, and we talk a lot about the talent that the Winterhawks have, but boy, they just haven't been able to produce it. And I'm a little surprised, to be honest with you, at this first period.
Johansson, short-handed, one hand on the stick, throws it at Lewin, who grabs it and holds on.
Ryan Johansson, you know, the good game that he had, we talked about that in our open, but he's going to have to be, you know, better and better all the time. He had a hat trick in Game 2 against the Kelowna Rockets. That was the last Winterhawk hat trick. Prior to that was Brandon Dubinsky, plays for the New York Rangers back in 06 against Seattle. So he's been hot, but he's been a little quiet. He got a little warmed up the other night in Cranbrook, and I think for Portland to win tonight, they got to have Johansson really, really playing.
Fraser backhands the puck out to the neutral zone. Niederreiter trying to take the pass, could not. McNabb lifts it up high with 20 seconds to go in the period. And they'll call that a glove hand pass at center.
And another guy, Dan, for what it's worth, Nino Niederreiter, I would have never thought that in 10 playoff games he'd only have 2 goals. He had 1 against Spokane, that 6-game series. He's had 1 against the Ice. As good as Barcheat, Cunningham, Ratty have been, I just don't think this team can win this series without Nino Niederreiter scoring. He's got to be a bigger factor.
And going back to the shots, they've now allowed 180 shots in this series. So that is a lot. Only into the first period of game number 5. Here comes Berchi as it rolls into Lewin. I say Portland in the 20 games of the playoffs, they've been outshot 8 out of 20. Kootenay only 3 times in the entire playoffs have they finished a game out of 18 on the wrong end of the shot clock.
A lot of concern here about where I think the face-off. No, we definitely go to the right side. It's not going to matter much. Half a second left.
Goalie out.
Yeah. Why not? Portland has Caruth on the bench, and all you want to do is get a right-hand shot.
0.6 of a second. Are they going to try and draw it back?
I can't believe you tried to draw it back, do you?
Well, except Johansson's a right-handed shot.
Oh, I know. Trying to set it up for Morrow. Well, that's got to be pretty quick.
Bang, bang.
And hope the guy on the clock is a little bit slow.
You mean in the home rink that can happen? Not here. Right on the spot was that timekeeper. And the horn sounds. Great start for Portland, but a great finish for Kootenay. And a video replay goal. Strange period in some ways. But Kootenay outshoots Portland 16-12. Wotherspoon and Boomer, the goal scorers. There's the second one. So we're 1-1 after 1. Lots more coming up right here on Shaw.
Tyler Wotherspoon scoring for the Portland Winterhawks. Steel Boomer for the Kootenay Ice. Tied at 1 after 1. Nino Niederreiter from the Winterhawks, our guest. Nino, how did you see that first period?
I think it was a great period. We wanted the way we come out strong, and I think we played a great first period, and that's all we need. I mean, at the end, today we're just going to have fun out here. It's the best thing. I mean, it's so excited. Playing 10,000 people, it's a great thing.
It really is. It's a great atmosphere. You're down 3-1 in the series. You could easily be up 3-1 in this series. Been really close so far. Is that the way you've seen it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just 2 great teams out there. I mean, sometimes the luck is of their side. I'm pretty sure the luck is going to be on our side tonight. But at the end, I mean, like I said, it's 2 great teams. It's just fun out there.
Brad Ross back in the lineup for the Winterhawks. What does he mean to this club?
Obviously, it's great. He's a key guy for us. He's making big hits out there and definitely helping us in grinding in our line. And I mean, he's a small guy, but still a big player.
Nino, thanks for this.
Thank you very much.
All right, Nino Niederreiter, the Portland Winterhawks. Joey.
Thank you very much, Cam. Yeah, and an exciting period of hockey here to open up game number 5. The 2 teams tied at 1. We're live on location here at the Rose Garden, and joining us this evening here inside the WHL is Sam Cosentino, who is going to be covering the MasterCard Memorial Cup on behalf of Rogers Sportsnet. Sammy, your first time here in Portland, Oregon ever, and you're seeing a doozy of a hockey game to this point. What have you thought through 20 minutes of play?
Yeah, the hockey game is fantastic, but even the prelude to that, the game presentation here has been just awesome. The rink looks great. You know, you wouldn't even know that the capacity has been cut down the way they've draped the building. Huge, loud crowd. You got to love it. But the game itself has just been fascinating to me. I've seen Kootenay a couple of times, once in person, a lot of times on the internet. Same thing with Portland. I've yet to see them play live this year. So it's been really interesting to me to see how Portland, I know Mike Johnson really wanted to get a good, fast start from his hockey club. He got that. But the stick-to-itiveness on the part of Kootenay and Chris Knobloch's team, they didn't panic. got back to their systems, hit a post, ended up getting that goal in the review. Fascinating first period.
Would you agree, in watching it from a distance, because you've been busy following the other CHL championships in Ontario and Quebec, that this series could easily be 3-1 for Portland, or very easily a 4-0 sweep for either club through the first 4 games?
That's really, really crazy for me to think of that. And you look at Kootenay's run up to this point, based on pure wins and losses, that the Moose Jaw Warriors have given them the biggest trouble to this point in time. But the 7-5 game, Kootenay does well to hang on to that. Some great chances for Portland at the end of that one. They can't get it into a tie situation. If they do, the momentum shifts there and maybe they win that game, and the entire complexity of this series changes. But I think we're seeing that when we go right across the championships here in the Canadian Hockey League. The very much same thing can be said what's happening with Gatineau right now, and even with Owen Sound and Mississauga going to Game 7. So you get down, and some people think that there's a couple teams that maybe aren't deserved to be there, but at the end of the day, all of these teams that are still left definitely deserve to be there, and that's why the series are so close.
Sam Cosentino from Rogers Sportsnet joining us for a few more moments here in our intermission break. Let's talk about those other series on the other side of Canada, and that will start with 2 teams that have only qualified for the Memorial Cup. The Ontario Hockey League Championship is a doozy by all accounts. Owen Sound Attack and Mississauga St. Mike's Majors in a real dogfight, and it doesn't look like any team is willing or being capable to pull away from one another.
No, and Joey, I mean, you are someone very familiar in that very spot as a broadcaster for the Giants in 07. You saw Medicine Hat in Vancouver. Both teams had qualified. Everyone wondered how that series was going to be. Most people say that was the best WHL championship in the history of the league. I don't think it's quite that proportion in the Ontario Hockey League, but when you look at these 2 teams already having been in, this has been about as nasty a series as I've seen of any of the 3. I mean, the stuff behind the play, the stick work, some of the penalties, a couple of suspensions having been resulted, it has been filthy, that series. But to think that they're going to a Game 7, Owen Sound comes back, wins 3-2, using their 3rd goalie in the series. Jordan Bennington hadn't played since round 1. He comes in, stops 41-43. They were without Andrew Shaw, who's been their most consistent player. Owen Sound reaches down, digs deep, plays in front of the Harry Lumley Bayshore Arena crowd. They win that game. So pretty fascinating what's going on, and no surprise to me that it's going to end up being a 7-gamer.
Now in the Quebec League final, you've got the #1 rated team in the nation in the St. John Sea Dogs, who are taking on the Gatineau Olympique, and that series sounds like it's far from over. On paper, maybe it could have been a sweep based on St. John's skill level, but the Olympique are giving them a real run for their money, aren't they?
And they really are. I mean, I give so much credit to Benoit Grew, the head coach there. Took a couple of years off to coach in the American Hockey League. Really didn't find that was right for him. He gets back to a place where really it's his home. He does such a fantastic job with that team. You know, he's coached in 22 series as a head coach in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. He's won 18 of them. They're down 3-1 to a great Quebec team coached by Patrick Waugh. They come all the way back and win that series. They lose in double overtime at home the other night to fall down 3-1 in that series, go into St. John tonight in Harbour Station and win that game 3-2. So by no means is this series over yet. They're going to get back in front of the Robert Guertin Arena. It's an arena about a quarter of this size, but almost equally as loud. And so they'll be fired up in Gatineau for Game 6, and it wouldn't shock me to see this one go 7 as well.
Sam, really appreciate your insight, filling our viewers in on what's happening outside of the WHL Championship. We look forward to you and your handiwork out in Mississauga, Ontario in a week's time. Thanks for doing this. Enjoy the rest of the night here in Portland.
Can't wait. Thanks, Joey.
Thank you very much. Sam Cosentino from Rogers Sportsnet's coverage of the Canadian Hockey League joining us here in our intermission break. More to come here from the Rose Garden. Winterhawks won Ice 1 in game number 5. It's the WHL Championships on Shaw. Some fans wearing Kootenay Ice jerseys taking in this one tonight on the road in Portland, Oregon. Greatly outnumbered, though, by the Rose Garden faithful. They've got a great opening 20 minutes in the books to have watched. It's a 1-1 tie between the Hawks and the Ice. Welcome back inside the Rose Garden. I'm your host, Joey Kenward. This is Ross Mahoney, who is the Director of Amateur Scouting for the Washington Capitals franchise. And you and I were just chatting off camera, Ross, that that's a pretty good period to watch from a fan's perspective, but from a scout's perspective, you're seeing a lot going on there both on and off the ice, aren't you?
Yeah, no, it's a great game for us to watch. I mean, there's a lot of prospects for this year's draft, and obviously a very emotional and intense game with a fantastic crowd, so it's nice to see them play in a more of a pressure situation.
Talk more about one of your prized prospects in a moment here, but from a scout's perspective, when you're watching teams battle it out at the junior level for a league championship, are those the nights where you're looking for those different intangibles intangibles that maybe separate other players from one another, especially those that are up for the draft?
Yeah, you'd like to see them step up, even though they're 17-year-olds, but you'd like to see them elevate their game. You know, the deeper they go in the playoffs, you hope that they can accomplish even more, and like I said, elevate their game and show good patience with the puck, and no panic to their game, and play a smart game and play under control.
Ross Mahoney, who is the director of amateur scouting for the lives in Regina, nearly said Regina Pats, Washington Capitals. So he's made the trek all the way here from Saskatchewan to watch this game in Portland, Oregon, and obviously you're keeping a very close watch on one of the best players in major junior hockey today, and that's Kootenay Ice forward Cody Eakin, who you drafted a couple of years ago, and I'm sure looking back at where you picked him in the draft, you're just elated to see what he's been able to do since he put on that Caps jersey for the first time.
Yeah, no, we really are. I mean, we obviously had a real interest in Cody drafting him, but he's progressed very well, and I think it's due to his character and his attitude and the effort that he puts into it, and couldn't be happier with his progress so far.
He's had a ton of hockey to be played the past couple of years. Last year he played with the Swift Current Broncos, then was called up to your American League team, which wound up winning the championship at the AHL level. Then he plays the World Junior Championships this year, traded from one team to another. Is there ever a fear that maybe the kid plays too much hockey, or is this a situation you as a program are just thrilled to see him in?
No, I think these are all great experiences for him. He ended up playing 3 exhibition games with us, and as you said, we got a lot of ice time in Swift Current and the World Junior experience, and being traded, and the success now that Kootenay's having. So for us, it's a lot of hockey, but it's good hockey for him, and Cody enjoys playing the game. I think he'd play every day if he could.
How close is he to stepping into the NHL next year? Albeit as a 20-year-old, that is a big jump for a lot of kids to make. He doesn't seem like he's got anything left to prove, though, in the WHL.
Yeah, no, it's a big jump, and we're always very patient with our prospects. We like to say we like to overcook them a bit, but Cody's really progressed well since we've drafted him. He's a lot stronger this year. He worked very hard on his off-ice conditioning to get to that level. And it's up to him now. Next year at training camp, we'll see how he does. But it's up to Cody.
I want to ask you about a couple of players that are up for the draft this year from the home team in this contest tonight, and that's Sven Berchi and Ty Ratty, 2 players that are ranked in the top 10 by NHL Central Scouting as 2 of the premier forwards up for the draft based out of the Canadian Hockey League. Are those surefire high-end picks in your eyes when you watch them play on a regular basis?
Well, we can't divulge our secrets here with the Washington Capitals.
I'm not expecting you to.
No, they're both very talented players, and they've had a lot of success this year. They've both put up really good numbers, and they've continued to succeed in the playoffs. Both of them are scoring again, so it's a credit to them and their talent level, and I'm sure they'll do very well in the upcoming draft.
Ross, appreciate you joining us here. I know it's a fun rink to be in, whether you're a fan, a player, or in your case, a scout. To enjoy the rest of this one tonight here in Portland.
I will. Thank you very much. I wish I was playing. This is a tremendous atmosphere. This is awesome. But thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ross Mahoney, the Director of Amateur Scouting for the Washington Capitals, joining us here inside the WHL. Here's a quick look at the out-of-town CHL scoreboard. The Gatineau Olympique in the Quebec Major Junior League Final win 3-2 earlier this evening over the St. John Sea Dogs. The Dogs still lead that series 3-2, and they will play a Game 7 in the OHL Championship in Mississauga between the hometown St. Mike's Majors and the Owen Sound Attack. That series tied 3-3. Mississauga is the Memorial Cup host this year. Both teams will qualify for the tournament starting next weekend. WHL.ca is the place to go for up-to-date playoff information on the best junior hockey league in the world. 1-1 the score here at the Rose Garden. We'll have some first period highlights and analysis and the opening face-off for period 2 next. You're watching the WHL Championships on Shaw.
There we are in the crowd here, Kootenay and Portland. They put the kiss cam up on the scoreboard. That's not coming this way, of course. Kootenay and Portland in a 1-1 tie. You know, Portland had such a great start, and I don't know this year how many times they've faced a team like Kootenay, but Kootenay just doesn't blink an eye. They just come back.
Absolutely, and we're going to show you exactly what happened. 2:26 into the first period. Big crowd. You want this kind of a start. Watch the Winterhawks on this forecheck. They're going to get 3 guys on the forecheck, which is what you want. There's 1, there's 2, and watch it. Stop it there. All Craig Cunningham, number 14 White, wants to do is create a loose puck from this scrum. He does. Gets it to Barchi. They realize realize that a lot of guys for the ice are on that one side of the ice, and Tyler Wotherspoon comes in and makes them pay 1-0. But Dan, this is what the ice do. They keep coming back at you. This is Cherwonka getting into a soft zone there. Hits the post. That kept it scoreless. Watch number 5, Jagger Dirk. What's he doing in behind the defense? That's just going hard in the net. And watch Braden McNabb take this feed. This is a defenseman getting behind the Portland defense. That cannot happen. And finally, they make him pay for it. Stop it there. Watch the feed from Isman, far right. 15. Steel Boomer's going to go to the front of the net. And eventually, they're going to create a goal. He takes a terrific deflection off the crossbar, down onto the ice. They went to review. This is what they saw upstairs, and they called it a goal, rightfully so. We're tied at 1. But you can't let, if you're the Portland team, Dan, they can't let this team in blue keep coming at them. They've got to defend better.
So 1-1 after 1, Wotherspoon and Boomer, the goal scorers. Lots of shots, as we were alluding to. And a strange play in so much that they played another 3 minutes. So that was in some ways a 23-minute period. So guys got extra ice time. That won't go down on the chart. So there's your 2 goal scorers as we start this period. Boychuk comes back into the penalty box area, but just serving the end of his 4 minutes here. That's not going to affect the manpower. Cherwonka's in a discussion with Wheeler as you look at Nathan Lewin, 19 years old from Abbotsford, and there's one of the youngest coaches, 32-year-old Chris Knobloch, who's ever been into a final. And Boychuk, as we mentioned, is serving the end of a roughing penalty that's not affecting the manpower situation. There's the big scoreboard here at center. Basically a high-def television for all the fans here. That's a beautiful score clock. The replays they can show very, very clearly. And we are underway here in the second period with the Kootenay Ice 1 win away from their 3rd trip to a Memorial Cup. And as we mentioned, the first time Portland has faced elimination in these playoffs. Wotherspoon gloves the puck down. On the far side, Niederreiter gets it to Johansson. Pass behind Ross, who chases it into this Kootenay line. He swatted the puck onto Lewin. Lewin easily turned that one aside. Cherwonka now gets it up for King. Throws it at goaltender Carruth, and he gloves that one easily and holds on.
I heard Brad Ross talking in the open with Cam Moon about, happy obviously to be back, but said that they were going to draw some energy from the fact there's been a lot of probably NHL teams, I know he was referring that, have had comebacks, and he's using that as a motivation. And, rightfully so, it can be done, but it's a game playing in front right now of this huge crowd at the Rose Garden that the Winterhawks just have to get a little better at. Credit the ice for doing a super job.
First round last year, the Calgary Hitmen came back from 3-1 down against Moose Jaw. That's the last time that's happened in the Western Hockey League. Offensive zone face-off for Kootenay. They go forward with the puck, and Carruth gloves it down, and he'll hold on once more. Again, we're going to look at some of the big crowd here in Portland. And if you weren't with us earlier on in the series, I mean, this has been a remarkable franchise for many years, but brought back literally from the dead a few years back. The crowds down here got so low that there was a lot of concern that the Winterhawks might not stay in Portland. That concern seems well to be over now. Cunningham back to Morrow. Off the boards, collected by Berchi, in over the blue line for Cunningham. Cunningham trying to get it to Ratty. Berchi intercepts the clearance by Kootenay, but he can't make the play. Now it goes up to Fraser. Fraser to Reinhart. Reinhart sends the puck back in. The last time Kootenay lost a game in regulation time, March the 29th. They have the OT loss in this series, but they haven't lost in reg. Not since last month, but the month before.
Wow. Yeah, and it's just been a pleasure for us to have them on Shaw, hasn't it? The series against Saskatoon really started it all. I'm convinced game 1. Honestly, Dan, I'll go back to game 1 against Saskatoon, first period, probably first 10 minutes of the period. I said, this is a team that's going to really be tough to play against.
Here's a centering pass towards King. Back the other way, Niederreiter. Nino Niederreiter shot from well out. Didn't miss by much. Ross puts it back at the net. Johansson trying to give chase. Leach gets it, now to King, now to Boomer, and out it comes to the neutral zone. Well, when Saskatoon lost 4 straight, it was a big disappointment, but maybe that disappointment has been tempered a little bit when you see what this Kootenay Ice team has done to other clubs since. Here's a chance and a save and a rebound, and the puck is still loose and then swept away by Aronson right off the goal line, and now it goes offside, or at least maybe a foot in front of the goal line. But that was a close call again for Kootenay.
Yeah, Montgomery hasn't had, a lot of action in this playoffs. He came off mono, but he's going to take that puck, number 22, and just, go to the net. The thing is, the more you watch the Kootenay Ice, Dan, I've said this a couple times, folks, and it's no better example than here. They take straight lines to the net. There's no dangle. There's no looking for a guy to give that puck to. When they've got it in a scoring position, they just geometrically go hard to the net. And it's amazing how there's always somebody looking there for a rebound.
74 games in the entire playoffs. The away team has won 2 more than the home team in 2011, and that was even more pronounced last year. They play all those games for home ice advantage. Ratty going in. Ratty couldn't get the shot away. Ratty's had a nice series. He tied game 4 with 17 seconds left. He had the overtime scoring play in game number 1. He has 10 points in his last 6 games, does Ratty. So he has had a real strong series. Antilla now to Reinhardt. Reinhardt gets the puck back for Fraser. Fraser now at the side of the net. Antilla's shot. That's knocked down. Here's a centering pass. Comes back out to Rintoul. His shot went off a stick up high, and Rintoul chases it down on the far side. Reinhardt trying to get it back in the net. It rolls to Fraser. Fraser and Reinhardt. They work so well together. Now a clearing pass over top of Berchi's stick. Rintoul back to collect it. Rintoul fights off one check. Brings it in over the line, poked off his stick. And Antilla has it. The ice just prevents you from playing a crisp game. The Portland Winterhawks having trouble completing 2 or 3 passes in a row, or at least when it's just off the stick for a half a second, the ice are on it. And then they quickly move it, and they seem to be able to make the passes, like this one, potentially to Fraser. As he one-hands it to the side of the net. Here is a chance by Isman, and it's right on to Caruth, and he holds on to stop the play.
It's just like the ice seemed to know that the Portland Winterhawks are in retreat mode. They know that if they come up the ice hard with the puck, that they are going to get them backing off. Fraser is so hard to knock off that puck. Pouliot, 16-year-old, does a great job of trying to get him away. And look at the time. Look at the space. You give Eakin that much time. Here's the key. Not only does Eakin make a play, not only does Fraser get the puck in deep, but you saw in front of the net, they get a man there trying to jam that puck past the goaltender. And it just all works in sequence. A guy carries the puck, they delay in the offensive zone, and then they send a man to the front of the net.
And a shot on the faceoff after Eakin got it back to Leach is turned aside. Another shot goes wide of the corner. It seems like that video replay goal, the Hawks haven't recovered really since then. Haven't had many scoring chances since then as Johansson tries to put it in front.
Not moving their feet, and it's plain and simple. You're half a step behind. And boy, they had an answer for Niederreiter. And there's Johansson in that corner. Good coverage on the point. That puck's got to get through.
And it did, but it missed the net. Randy at the line, can't hold it in. It's a potential break the other way for King. A race for the puck. Ruth way out of his net, and he gave it right to Cherwonka, who holds and shoots and has it blocked. Cherwonka had to settle the puck down first, and Wren went down for the block. Now here comes Johansson in over the line. Johansson, shot, save, rebound, and it's off the target, and the net's off its support as well, as the Portland player just came crashing in. Is that Ross that went hard into the goal? I think it was.
Yeah, you had the whole line involved there. You had Johansson with the puck, you had the drop pass to Niederreiter, and you had the Ross going to the net. A nice play by the Winterhawks in that spot there. That leads to this play. Now you got some movement up the ice. You got Niederreiter, Johansson, watch the front of the net. Now Ross is going to go in there, get underneath the goaltender. The puck did go back over to Niederreiter. Didn't get a really, what I would call a grade A scoring chance.
There's Ryan Johansson at the bench. He leads all players in the WHL with 28 points. Cody Eakin has 27. Reinhardt, Berchi, Niederreiter all with 26 points. So the scoring race, very, very close. We have 2 points separating 5 players for the scoring race in the playoffs. Here's Reinhart throwing it hard in front of the net. Fraser now. He can't get it. Back the other way. Witkowski jumps into the rush. In he goes. Leipzig now cuts to the middle. Hard pass to Peters. His stick is lifted. And there again, execution just not there for Portland. Fraser makes one move. Poked off his stick. Leipzig, good job on the back check. Boychuk starting back. Boychuk passes, and it's behind Peters. And again, Kootenay just doesn't allow you to make that mistake. Otherwise, you got to go all the way back to your own zone. Pouliot up to Leipzig, over to Berchi. Berchi in over the line. Hard pass, nice one. Cunningham shot up high, and Lewin's got it. Pushing and shoving afterwards. Leipzig and McNabb having those words. Fraser and Berchi over in the other corner.
And Greg Cunningham was slow, really slow to get up. This is way back in game 1. Hasn't got a goal in this series, has 4 assists, and you'll never ever know come playoff time whether guys are badly hurt or not. It's a question of, is Cunningham playing through some pain? Is he having some problems after that injury there? Because he'd be the last guy to tell you he's that tough a kid.
5:50 the time of these penalties. This is possibly the last game in Craig Cunningham's great WHL career. His 79th playoff game. Played 409 total games. You know, Bill, he has 126 goals when you consider the playoffs. But remember, the first 48 games, he didn't get a goal. He couldn't score in his first season. Hard to believe he had that kind of career afterwards.
Yeah, but you know what? It was the progress thing. Craig Cunningham had 18 goals in Junior B as a 15-year-old. And then it was just a matter that his game didn't translate right away to the Western Hockey League. Did you say 46? I thought it might have even been in the 50.
I said 48.
But the long and the short of it, he had every guy in the Vancouver Giants just hoping that he would score. He went through a whole season before that. But eventually, I'll tell you what, bud, his game just translates over. You got to be patient with some of these guys, and he can score with the best of them at the Western Hockey League level.
Regular season class also a plus 67.
Wow, isn't that amazing?
Yes.
You want him on the ice, don't you?
And we'll have him between periods with Cam Moon. Berchi brings the puck in over the blue line, but they're offside with 13:45 to go in the second period. It just feels, Bill, even though it's 1-1 right now, it just feels that Portland needs the next goal.
Yeah, and you're not going to get it with this play here. Berchi slows down right at the blue line. Instead of going hard, look, that puts his winger Tyrati offside. There's the sink. You got to move your feet. That's probably the discussion they're having right over there. Although you got to come up the ice as a unit. You got to attack that zone hard. We've seen Berchi be able to do that.
Well, the Kootenay Ice had so much to do with that. They're in their heads, I'm sure, a little bit.
But take up such strong positions. That's defensively. Without the puck, it's just amazing. Their teamwork is uncanny.
Portland has lost the last 3 games of this series. The last time they lost 4 in a row was before the calendar change. Niederreiter brings the puck in over the blue line. Leach trying to take it off his stick as it comes over on this side. Johansson back to Morrow, long shot. That tips off the target. Continuing with the 4-on-4 play for another 49 seconds. Fraser backhands it to the Portland blue line. Now it's stolen by Reinhart. Reinhart takes a shot well wide of the net. Max Reinhart and Matt Fraser, each with 15 goals to lead all WHLers. Johansson is next on the list with 13. That's him with the puck right now. Johansson puts it wide of the goal on purpose. Aronson waiting for it on the other side. The goalie is down. I don't know what's wrong with Lewin. He's slow to get up as he's lost his stick, but it also looks like he might be favoring something. There's a shot, and he's slow to get up. Lewin very slow. Still gets back up to his feet. Ross now plays it around the far side. Can Portland take advantage of a laboring goaltender? They need a shot on goal. I'm sure Mike Johnson's telling them just that, and they can't hold the puck in. Boy, it's been that kind of series for Portland. Now Lewin gets his own stick. He was playing with a defenseman stick, but I still think he was laboring in there. Berchi brings the puck in over the line with Cunningham. Cunningham takes the pass. Weak shot. Lewin covers it up. And now the dog pile, or potential pile in front of him. And let's keep our eye on the Kootenay goaltender. I was thinking we haven't seen much of Brett Teske, the backup, because he's just had a good seat through the entire playoffs.
Yeah, and I'd be very surprised if he ended up going in. Have a look here. This is what happened in front of net, Nathan Lewin. But he had a little time to recover. And you know, ultimately, when you're kind of hurting, this is the kind of shot you want on goal, is a soft one that you can quickly grab and kind of hold and kind of catch your breath. Cunningham, not a great scoring chance, and it went again a credit to the Kootenay defense to make sure that a laboring goaltender was not going to get a whole lot of traffic.
Let's go down to Cam Moon.
I'm not sure, but it looked like when Brad Ross got knocked into Nathan Lewin, that's where he suffered the injury, whatever that may be.
And that was, what, 2 or 3 shifts ago? Maybe it just keeps bothering him a little bit. We'll keep an eye on him, obviously. Hard not to do that the entire playoffs. He's just been something special for the Kootenay Ice. Lead pass for Cody Eakin, brought in over the line. A high shot, and Reiser over top the net. McNabb trying to keep it in on the far side. Leipzig tying him up. McNabb fell. Now William Wren up to Boychuk. Here's a chance. Boychuk in over the line with Leipzig. Boychuk hold, shoots over top the goal. Didn't hit the net. Eakin out to the neutral zone. McNabb and King trying to pass it to one another. Now it's Rintoul being watched by Berchi. Rintoul forced back a couple times, so he plays it over to McNabb. McNabb, pass picked off. Here's a 2-on-1 again. Berchi with Cunningham. Oh, and a great back check there. Wonderful play by King to break up a 2-on-1. Is it hesitation too, Bill? Portland's done so much on reflex probably this year, but they're hesitating right now, and it seems. Anyway.
Yeah, well, every time you look up, there's somebody in your way.
Yeah.
You know, there's traffic always where you want to go. And if there's not traffic there, there's somebody back checking the heck out of you.
Morrow. Over to Rutkowski. Now in over the line. Here's Cunningham holding it, shooting it, and he missed the far corner. Back to the line. Rutkowski winds up, shoots, save, Lewin, rebound, poke just wide of the net. What a great chance again for Portland. Ratty ends up inside the goal, but the puck did not. There's a shot. Oh, Boomer got that with his hand. He's hurt out at the blue line. Boomer's lost his glove. He blocked that with his hand. Now he gets the puck with one glove on. He sends it deep into Portland territory. Steele Boomer, who has the goal tonight, just made a great block, and now he gets a bunch of players saluting him over at the bench, but his hand is hurt. Meantime, McNabb in front of the net for Fraser. Another hard pass. Reinhart at the side of the net. Still Reinhart working. Pass. McNabb makes one move. Dishes it down low for Fraser, and he couldn't connect. Some of the better action in the hockey game taking place right now. Martin trying to follow it up. Still Martin with it. Drop pass. Reinhart off the goal post. Reinhart hit the post. Fraser lifted his arms like Kootenay had scored. He was way out at the blue line. He thought that one was in. Fraser hit by Ross. Here comes Reinhart. Reinhart. Knocked down, fell down, trying to get up. Niederreiter's there as well as they continue to battle for the puck. And the battle continues. Oh, and an elbow, potentially, or a head that was jerked back. Not sure. The referees say no. As Rutkowski being worked over by Reinhart. Fraser goes in. How about this battle? They just keep battling, and finally we get a whistle. Man, look at the pushing, look at the shoving, look at the compete level, and now as we send it to break with 8:45 to go, you can look at a couple of real close chances. It's still 1-1 in the second period on Shaw.
With Chris Knobloch, head coach of the Kootenay Ice. Chris, with the exception of the early part of the game, team looked like they played well defensively. Your thoughts on your team's play defensively here tonight?
I thought we got better as the game's gone on. In the first 5 minutes, we had some turnovers at the offensive blue line that we have to get away from. But after that, we played pretty well, and so has Portland. They've had their chances, and next goal is very important.
Now, just a case of being very patient, waiting for that opportunity.
Well, absolutely. We've got a game that we have to play, and we don't want to change it. We've had success, but sooner than later, but we'll keep on shooting, and hopefully it'll come.
Chris, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Well, you talk about selling out for your hockey club. Watch Steel Boomer on the left side of your screen come out and block this with his hand. Knocks the glove right off, boy. That hurts. That's selling out, man. When that puck goes in the crease, you're going to get it out of there. And the other way, Reinhardt on the attack, and again, count them. 1, 2, 3, Kootenay Ice coming on the attack. They never come in on his one-offs. Max Reinhardt hits the post.
Boomer, one of their 20-year-olds, showing the great leadership in this game. He had that block. He scored the goal in a 1-1 tie. Wotherspoon has the goal for Portland that opened the scoring 2.5 minutes into the first period. We have 8.5 minutes to go in the second period in game number 5. If game number 6 is needed, it would be played on Sunday at Kootenay in game 7 the very next night here in Portland. The Winterhawks need to find their offenses. Those games are going to be needed. You'd have to think anyway, but the icing stops the play. The face-off will go all the way back into their own zone.
Again, you saw Wren with that pass, trying to give it to somebody, trying to find a forward open, trying to find a forward in white, a Portland Winterhawks skating a good route. Not able to find them. Stretch the pass a little bit, call for icing.
Boomer back out there after blocking that shot with his hand. He won the face-off. Here's Hurley. Shot to a riser. Everybody kind of half ducking as that puck was flying over top the Portland goal. Boomer from back to the net has Isman with him. Isman, 2 goals, 2 assists last game. He called it a career game. I guess so. Here's Boomer. One hand on the stick. Steel Boomer putting it the other way now. Isman dumped a little bit back to the net. Rintoul keeps the puck in. Long shot, tipped off the target. Hurley got his stick on it. Even this line for Kootenay having some pretty good zone time. But Boychuk starts back. Boychuk up for Peters, but off his stick. As I say, Bill, if you're not crisp against Kootenay, you just can't get behind them.
Yeah, that's the key. You got to have that puck. You got to handle it, move it to the right guys, and have some speed.
Berchi shoots it in.
See, the Portland Winterhawks are not a team that dump the puck in like that, because you're not going to get possession down there. They want to come up the ice with some speed. They want to get the puck in the hands of the skill guy. Berchi, to me, he's been invisible tonight.
Well, their only goal has come from a defenseman. Although Cunningham and Berchi did get assists on that goal, so they did have a good start. But since then, not much from that line. And of course, we're still waiting for Nino Niederreiter. Cunningham in over the blue line. Cunningham has a shot go off the toe of his stick, but Berchi puts it just wide of the net. Aronson holds it in. That said, Portland still 1-1 tie, and anything can happen here in game number 5. But Portland needs something special to happen here.
Yeah, 24-17 shots on goal for the Ice.
Make it 25-17 as Caruth makes that save on James Martin.
You know, when Sven Berchi plays like he has played, he's number 27, going hard in the net, making things happen. That's a good speed. That's what you want. You know, watching him play like that gives you a scary thought if you're a Portland Winterhawk fan, and that is, you know, he's a late birthday. He's an 18-year-old in the draft. You start wondering where he might play next year. Might they keep him up in the National Hockey League? Because he will be a top 10 pick for sure.
It said he had 0 points last game, but you know that tying goal, that point shot hit him in the leg and bounced right to Ratty. He should have gotten an assist on it, but they didn't give him one. There's a shot that's knocked down. Reinhardt trying to get the puck, puts it back at the goal. Johansson gets it. 5 goals for Barchi in the final, but most of his noise was made early. Here's Ross intercepting. Ross throws it in front. Niederreiter's shot. Tipped out of play by McNabb with 5:54 to go in the second.
You know, Niederreiter skates over to the bench again. His body language tells you everything. He won a better shot. You know, Brad Ross did a good job of getting that puck to him. But, you know, Niederreiter needs a little more time, as any good goal scorer does. You don't want to have to release the puck as quickly as he did there and still hit a Kootenay Ice stick, and that's why that puck deflected up into the netting behind Lewin.
Cunningham back out there with Ratty and Berchi. Pouliot and Aronson, the defensive pairing right now. The puck in the circle. Benoit has it. Benoit got it to Ismond as the puck is shot in deep. Pouliot on the backboard, lost the puck. Here's a centering pass. Oh, and it just missed Steel Boomer. Back the other way. Here comes Berchi. 4 Winterhawks. Here they come through the neutral zone. Berchi, Pouliot, Berchi, and a poor shot actually at the end, and it went well wide. And back comes Kootenay. King takes a shot. That went wide of the net. Puck scoring free to Cunningham. Boy, a 4-on-2 looked pretty promising there, and then it ended really with a sputter.
Yeah, it's exactly. It was a very weak shot.
Berchi in over the blue line, and his drop pass doesn't click. Aronson shoots the puck in. Such a big crowd here. They want to make noise. They want to say, go Hawks, go. But right now here's Montgomery in front of the net, and it just went over top the goal as Hurley went hard to the goal. Good opportunity there for 17-year-old Brendan Hurley. He gets the puck again, and he put it back to the net. And here comes Morrow. Boychuk, now Leipzig, cross ice, a little bit of room there, but again, Peters doesn't handle it cleanly. And when you don't handle it cleanly once, it just seems you don't get another chance until you can get the puck back out here at center inside your own blue line.
Oh no, that's obviously, that's the huge difference between this level and the National Hockey League. Guys handle the puck, it's on their stick, you don't cough it up. It doesn't bounce off your stick very often.
Reinhardt. His pass to Leach, long shot. Fraser was in front, but a good job by Morrow to knock it down. He gets it to center. He tries to follow up, and no, Leipzig threw the Kootenay player right into the bench. Eakin at the bench. Eakin takes a poke at Leipzig. Is there too many men on the ice as well? There was for a minute until Leipzig put the Kootenay player back in the bench.
You know, the rush up the ice, you'll see Morrow again very quickly run into 2 Kootenay ice. And Leipzig's a guy that recognized what was going to happen here. As Morrow comes up the ice, number 7 on the, well, this is a scoring chance in front. Here he goes. Watch him. Now he's going to run into what? 2 guys. He can't do anything with it. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 Kootenay ice over in that spot. Morrow tries to get a hit, says, Leipzig says, you know what? You didn't do it well enough. I'll finish that one out for you.
They're making noise now. They've got the little meter up there for the decibels, got up to 106. In game number 2, Portland went 0 for, or rather, in game number 2, Portland went 1 for 3, then 0 for 1, and then 0 for 3. So their power play really needs to cash in here. Hard shot by Niederreiter, a pass, ends up on Johansson's stick. Johansson's got the puck now. Johansson to Rutkowski, winding up. Hard pass down low. Niederreiter took it off his skates. Morrow now. Through the traffic, and that hits McNabb. Bounces to Rutkowski. Rutkowski to Niederreiter. Niederreiter to Ross. He leaves it actually for Johansson. Back to Morrow. Morrow back to Johansson. Cuts in. Doesn't get the shot away. Dishes it off. Here's Rutkowski. Nino Niederreiter. What's he going to do with it? He's going to shoot it right into Lewin.
You know, they forced Ryan Johansson. He tried to cut through the slot. The Kootenay Ice did a good job of not allowing him to get the shot. And this is the play. You'll see what a great job they do in making sure. You know, and that's one of the things that makes Kootenay good is they always know who's on the ice. This is Johansson cutting through that spot. Boy, there's a recognition of every Kootenay Ice player that that's not going to get through. And then force the shot from a relatively bad angle. Here comes Niederreiter. Not a great scoring opportunity. Easy save by the goaltender.
Pouliot shot. Rebound in front. Oh! Opportunity at the side of that for Ratty, but it got so deep and he was off balance as well. Fraser short-handed, and the Ice are always dangerous short-handed, except when they go offside, and that's what happened there.
Ty Ratty's a right-hand shot. He wants to take this cross-ice pass, but you talk about playing defense. Number 3 bait, Braden McNabb, reaches out. That is a tremendous amount of wingspan that man has. 6'4", you're 6'6" on skates. You're able to extend your body this far out there and knock that puck just enough that he never gets on the net.
Braden McNabb with just another great defensive play in these playoffs.
I said earlier, the first thing they always talk about when you're scouting defense, can he play defense? Whoever it is, Braden McNabb can do that.
And he moves pretty good for 6'4".
Third rounder, that's amazing to me.
Berchi broken up at the line, and again the puck goes back. deep into Portland territory. We've got half a minute remaining in this power play. 2.5 minutes to go in the second period in a 1-1 tie. Winterhawks facing elimination. Berchi to Pouliot. Pouliot to Aronson. Aronson throws it in front or towards the net anyway, went wide. Here's Cunningham, back to Pouliot. Pouliot over to Aronson. He has to reach to get it. Here's Cunningham now, winding up, shakes a shot. He hesitated a little bit, tried to get Lewin off balance, couldn't. Lewin says no once more.
Well, you saw Nino Niederreiter on that other side of the ice take a bad angle shot. This one's a pretty good effort by Cunningham. Hesitates just a little bit. You got to get that puck through in a hurry. And again, you know, when you're Leach, when you're Martin, when you're rest of that defense, you have a lot of confidence in the guy between the pipes that if he can see it, he can stop it.
8 seconds to go in the penalty. Portland trying to win a faceoff to get maybe one more chance on the power play here. Johansson on the draw against Reinhardt. They battle for it. Reinhardt couldn't clear it the first time, but Fraser will. And as Kootenay comes back to full strength, they have the puck poked off their stick at the line. Here comes Ross. Ross now to Johansson. Johansson tries to get in front to Niederreiter, and his quick shot, and Lewin just always ready, it seems, for a shot, was ready for that quick one as well.
And again, you know, the Winterhawks are just trying to get pucks on net. Dan, they're such a skilled team all season long. They've awed people with their puck movement inside the offensive zone. Now it's just get shots on the net. You saw Niederreiter with a bad angle the other side. You saw Cunningham trying to get it on the net, and this was the latest Niederreiter shot. You know, just get it on the net. They're desperately trying to get pucks on the net, but there hasn't been, to my recollection, a whole lot of rebounds. Lewin's just swallowed it up.
So there's under 2 minutes to go in the second period. On the face-off, the Ice have the puck. Couldn't get it out. Here's Boychuk. Boychuk, sharp angle shot, went off a stick. Another sharp angle shot. Lewin jumps up on the Leipzig shot, didn't reach the goal. Hawks keep it in. No, they don't. Back the other way comes King. King with Cherwonka. King holds it. His shot well wide of the net. Rattles off the boards to McNabb. His shot is knocked down, and here's Boychuk. Has Leipzig with him, but Leipzig can't handle the pass cleanly. It's going to be fired in now by Portland. Turned aside. McNabb gets it to the line and out. Leipzig took a run at McNabb. Now here's Eakin. Ooh, he's hit into the boards. There'll be a penalty on Portland. Wotherspoon getting the penalty. A hit from behind with 1:12 to go, and Kootenay will have their second power play of game number 5.
Well, yeah, it does come late. 1:12 left in this second period in a 1-1 tie. A pretty good power play. You know, we talked about discipline, Dan. I said it the other night. Right now, coming into tonight's game, the Portland Winterhawks have been on the penalty kill 25 more times than they've been on the power play. You can only answer that with lack of discipline. He knows that he can't make that check in that spot. Why do it? Or at least make that check in that spot.
So second power play for Kootenay, 5 for 20 in the series. Portland in these playoffs has had 100 shorthanded situations. They've given up 16 goals. Gets the puck out to center. Here's a shorthanded chance for Johansson. Makes a move, but then the puck got away from him. McNabb was the last man back, and that was pretty imposing for Johansson. Two future NHLers, to be sure, those two, McNabb and Johansson. Eakin now. Now McNabb. Fake shot. Here's Fraser. Side of the net. In front. He tried to feather. McNabb. Another pass. Score! Fraser scores for Kootenay on the power play with 44 seconds to go in the second period. The Kootenay Ice have their first lead of this 5th game of the WHL Finals.
Unbelievable patience. That's the difference between these two hockey clubs right now. The Portland Winterhawks are forcing everything on the net. Watch the patience of this Kootenay Ice team. They don't give up on that play. Here it comes right over there. Fraser's pass was deflected, didn't get through on the original play. Watch what Fraser does. Stays right in the area. Caruth has got trouble with Boomer in front of the net. That's distraction enough for Fraser to take that perfect pass from McNabb, I believe it was. And you knew that that was going to be a key penalty kill late in that period.
Indeed, it was McNabb setting up Fraser for his 16th. And let's pick up the second assist.
With assist to number 3, Braden McNabb. and number 23, Max Reinhardt.
So that's 16 goals now for Fraser. The overtime goal the other night, and now this one, as you saw, a dejected Portland bench. Look at the pass by McNabb over to Fraser. Nose for the net, in the net, then a little celebration, and the Ice are likely going to take a 2-1 lead into the third period, and they're 12-0 when they lead after 2 in the entire WHL playoffs. Cunningham being worked over by Leach. Cunningham and Leach continue to battle for it. Berchi out there as well. Puck squirts free to Kootenay. They could have a 3-on-2 themselves as King brings it in over the line with 11 seconds to go. A hard pass for Cherwonka. Cherwonka hit by Morrow. Puck scores free to King. King might be just content. Well, let's see. His centering pass will be intercepted, and that'll do it. So a late second period goal, and that'll quiet the crowd here and give Kootenay quite a lift going to the dressing room. They've been the better team tonight. They're up 2-1 in the game. They're up 3-1 in the series, and they're one win away from capturing the WHL championship. You're watching the finals in high def on Shaw.
Matt Fraser with the go-ahead goal in the second period. The Kootenay Ice lead the Portland Winterhawks 2-1. Steele Boomer from the Kootenay Ice, our guest. And Steele, your team's played a real solid defensive game. Was that the mindset coming into this one?
I mean, yeah, obviously they got a lot of firepower up front. Johansson, Niederreiter, all those guys. All top three lines can score. So, I mean, we got to be responsible when we're out there, get pucks deep, and I guess try to keep them 200 feet away from our net.
In the previous 3 rounds, you guys have been really good at closing out series when given that opportunity. Why do you think that is?
I think a big part of it is our motto is to focus on what we're doing, not the outcome. Like, just focus on what we're doing and try to stick to our game plan as much as we can and just do the right things.
You had a real good block in that period where the puck goes off your hand. Probably hurt quite a bit, and that's all part of the playoff process. How are you?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, there's every guy in both locker rooms probably has something sore, so I mean, I'm not going to dwell on it too much.
Right on. Steele, thanks very much.
Thanks, Mooner.
All right, Steele Boomer. Joey?
Thank you very much, Cam, as this game is a 1-1 tie after 40 minutes of play. Prior to the start of the game, I had a chance to catch up with Boston Bruins prospect Craig Cunningham. He is wrapping up his 5th and final year of WHL hockey here with the hometown Hawks. He has won a WHL title, he has won a Memorial Cup title, and tonight he's trying to help his team stay alive in this series. Let's now have a chat with Craig Cunningham of the Portland Winterhawks. Craig, I guess when you look at the first 4 games of this series, they could have gone either way for both your club or the Kootenay Ice. How exciting have they been from a player's perspective to get here to Game 5?
Yeah, I think it's been a great first 4 games, and I think once you get this far, in the postseason, the difference between the teams is it's razor thin, and if you look back on all 4 games, I mean we squeaked the first one out in overtime, had a big come from behind in Game 2, and then lost Game 3 and 4 in overtime, but. I think both teams have had great chances. They seem to be converting a couple more than us at this point, but we know that if we keep shooting the puck and going in the net, something's got to happen for us.
The line you're centering right now with Sven Berchi and Ty Ratty has been the most dangerous in this series for Portland. How much fun have you been having playing with those 2 young guys, you being the elder statesman on that line?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, anytime you get a chance to play with 2 guys that are that highly skilled, it's a great experience. And I actually live with Barchi here in Portland and Ratty on the road. So, 2 young guys going to have very promising professional careers, and it's been a pleasure for me in my last year to play with 2 guys like that.
Craig Cunningham, 20-year-old Hawks forward, joining us here in our intermission break. And this is your last year in the WHL. It very well could be your last game tonight in the Western Hockey League. And it's been an interesting year for you, having come here to Portland after a Christmas deal with the Vancouver Giants. Can you just talk about how wacky a year it's been, unlike any other in your WHL career?
Yeah, I guess, anytime you get traded for the first time in your career, it's a little bit of a difference. But, it kind of was right around Christmas time, and, kind of wasn't really going, as well as we would have hoped. And, I was kind of struggling a little bit, personally, and the team was struggling a bit. And, the GM kind of gave me, just a little talk and just said, if you feel that you'd like to move on and just let me know, and if you'd like to stay, then we'd love to have you. And I can't thank the GM enough for that and giving me a chance here in my last year, to play on a very good hockey team and in a great organization. But it was tough for me to make that decision to leave Vancouver. I was there for a long time, and a lot of friends and family, and people that I really trust there. So, but then again, the change here to Portland's been good. It feels like I've been here, for 2 or 3 years when it's only been 4 months. So, again, it's been a bit of a whirlwind, but really looking forward to tonight.
Not a lot of guys get a chance to play in multiple league championships. Doesn't matter if it's with 1 or 2 teams. Do you draw off these experiences in this series much like you did over the past couple of years with Don Hay and the Vancouver Giants?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I learned a lot playing under Don, and just his playoff experience and how many championships he's won, and just his will to win and how much he loves to win, and they never take winning for granted. And when you get this time in the year and your backs are against the wall, I mean, there's a lot of cliches that people use and stuff like that. But I mean, we just got to go and have fun with this game tonight, and put everything on the line. And it's going to be a sold-out barn. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I think we just take the pressure off each other, go out and look at the guy beside you, and just play for each other tonight.
And finally, what's it like playing in this building? Obviously, your days in Vancouver, BC, playing at the Pacific Coliseum with the Giants, you saw huge crowds there on many, many nights. But the atmosphere here in the Rose Garden in the playoffs, I know, has probably been as loud as you've ever experienced as a player. Is it all cracked up as it seems to be from a player's perspective?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, anytime the decimal reaches 107, it's pretty loud in there. And I kind of looked over at my linemate, and we couldn't even hear each other talking. So there's great fans here in Portland. They've done a real good job at getting this organization back at the top, and it's a lot of fun to play here.
Craig, thanks for doing this. Good luck the rest of the way in this series against Kootenay.
Thank you.
Hawks Overage forward Craig Cunningham joining us here at the Rose Garden. We'll take a break, come back with more. It is the WHL Championship Finals between the Portland Winterhawks and the Kootenay Ice here on Shaw.
You're watching the WHL on Shaw. Woo!
Welcome back here inside the Rose Garden. There's a fan getting a real up-close and personal look at tonight's WHL Championship Game 5 between the Winterhawks and the Kootenay Ice. Portland trailing Kootenay 2-1 after 40 minutes of play. Welcome back here inside the Rose Garden. I'm your host, Joey Kenward, joined by a long-time hockey legend from these parts. He makes his home in Portland. He was a player in the old Western League with the Buckaroos. He's now, after being a coach in the NHL, a longtime scout with the Boston Bruins organization, and that's Tommy McVie, who I know is just thrilled to see hockey thriving here in the City of Roses. How good is it from a fan's perspective?
It's a great city. It's a great city. There's probably about 20 players living in this city, ex-players, and it's just so nice to see another 12,000 people here at the game, and the Winterhawks have really made this thing go again.
We'll get you to put that microphone just a little closer. Pretty loud in here, and I'm sure that's a real sign that hockey is alive and well, because it wasn't that long ago, was it, where this team was really struggling not only on the ice but at the gate?
They did. They let it die for a while, Joey, and then Bill Gallagher came in and bought the franchise, and he hired a lot of good people. He's got good coaching here, good recruiting here, good front office now, and it's just a terrific franchise.
Now tell our viewers why you made your home here in Portland. Obviously you started your playing career after playing junior hockey out in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. You played with the Buckaroos organization, and then it obviously became home many different times, didn't it?
Yeah, well, I played in Prince Albert. I played junior hockey in this league actually years ago, and Orland Kurtenbach was my centerman. And so he came from there, and then I came down here and I played, 17 years of pro hockey, started coaching, and I went back east, and the only sensible thing I ever did in my life was keep my home here, because I got fired so many times, I always had a place to come back to get my stuff together to go to the next job.
Tom McVie, who is a pro scout with the Boston Bruins, taking this one here in his hometown of Portland, Oregon. Now you're keeping a close watch on a Boston Bruins draft pick that's playing tonight, and a guy that we just featured in our intermission, and that's Hawks forward Craig Cunningham, who is winding down his WHL career here with the Winterhawks. You've watched him very closely over his time, not only here in Portland, but the previous 4 seasons with the Vancouver Giants. What stands out for you when you reflect on his time in the WHL?
Well, I've watched him a lot. You're right about that, Joey, but Scott Bradley's the guy that really needs all the credit, because he was watching him and he loved him, and he asked me to come and watch him a few times, and I fell in love with the young guy because what I'm looking for, whenever I go looking for a hockey player, I say, can he be a Bruin? He can be a Bruin because his compete level is just outstanding. He's got good ability. He sees the whole ice. But what I like mostly about him is his compete level, because you can't be a Boston Bruins unless you have a high compete level.
And he comes from your hometown, and you're from Trail, British Columbia. It wasn't a hockey hotbed, was it, until you started playing there, was it?
I was about the only kid that came out of there. This is a long, long time ago. And then I find out that young Cunningham is from, I've never met the young man. I don't even know if he knows that I'm watching him playing all the time. But it's amazing that a young guy like me, I left Trail, I guess, when I was about 16, went away to play junior hockey, and now he got a young guy like him coming into pro hockey. And the Bruins, Scott Bradley especially, really love this young guy.
Finally, before we let you go, how many years of hockey do you have on your resume? Player, coach, scout?
Well, I've never had a real job. I've been in pro hockey now for 55 years, and I got to tell you, my dad, who was a miner in Trail and Smelterman, he said, I don't think you're going to go to school because the school's always phoning here looking for you. He says, another thing is that I don't think you want to work where I did, because you came up there one day and you ran the heck out of there. He says, so what you got to do, find something you love to do and try and talk someone into paying you for it. I've never had a real job.
And you know what? The Boston Bruins are happy to hear that. Tom McVie, pro scout with the Boston Bruins. Thanks for doing this. Enjoy the third period tonight.
Thank you, Joey. Thanks for having me on. This is great.
Tommy McVie, one of the hockey legends at every level of the sport, joining us here in our intermission break. There's a look at the reigning WHL Player of the Week. Tom's going to be watching this guy. He could be a top 10 pick in the NHL draft next month. Sven Berchi of the Winterhawks put up 5 goals and 2 assists last week. There you see his point totals heading into tonight's game, number 5. For up-to-date information on the Western Hockey League and the 2011 postseason, hit up their website. It's easy to remember, WHL.ca. 2-1 the score, Kootenay Ice up on the Portland Winterhawks. Second period highlights and analysis, and the opening face-off for the third is next. It is the WHL Championship here on Shaw.
Dan Russell with Bill Wills back in Portland. That fan reminiscing about round 1 and the Portland sweep over Everett. That fan thinking about Kelowna in round 2 and how Portland beat them in 6. And that young fan remembers 2 weeks ago they beat Spokane in 6. But it's slow in terms of the Winterhawk fans being able to cheer in this game. You know what, Bill? I just think it feels like more than a 1-goal Kootenay lead, and it's because they just keep slowing Portland down.
Yeah, the Winterhawks have really, their offense, which is a key to their attack, is just operating like not in second gear. It's kind of in first gear. They just haven't been able to generate any speed whatsoever. As Barchi takes this pass, standing still, skates into that traffic, glided. He glided through all of that. Now Kevin King on the back check. Boy, does he do a good job competing in the hard areas of the ice. Look at Kevin King on the back check. And then again, you'll see Barchi. I mean, this is just coming down there in slow motion. So slow that puck goes way to a bad angle. Misses the net completely. Cunningham standing still, trying to get the shot on the net. There's no flow to the game. I think you'll even see Nuno Niederreiter, number 22 here. No flow, standing still. Just can't get going. Now they get a late power play. Watch this. Slow it down, guys. Watch the separation there. Matt Fraser had the puck. See, he can separate himself. Now Matt Fraser, far right of the screen, he separates himself. And who's in front of the net but Steel Boomer? That's the key to making your power play work in the offensive zone, is create that separation when you have that man advantage. Kootenay did a good job of it there.
And as you look at our second period summary for Cal Tire, I'd like to salute all those working behind the scenes here on our Shaw telecasts. Our executive producer is Russ Greaves. Dave Roberts, our producer. Brianne Jefferson, our director. WHL central producer is Grant Wilkins. All the camera operators, all the people in the truck, the editors, the people on the highlights. So it's been our pleasure again to bring you the WHL playoffs on Shaw. And if the Portland Winterhawks rally and have a third period come from behind victory, we'll keep on going with them on Sunday. But Chris Knobloch and Mike Johnson, the two coaches, looking on as this third period about to get underway in Portland. Will this be the final period of the year, or will this championship series keep on going? Centers look like they're anxious to get going, and we finally do here in the third period. And Kootenay gets the puck up out of play as it was lifted over there by Eric Benoit in amongst the spectators.
Well, we see Mike Johnson making a bit of a line change switch here. He's got Craig Cunningham now centering Ross and Niederreiter. Probably gets Johansson back with Barchi and Ratty. See if that does make a difference. Certainly got to juggle things up a little bit. But again, as we've said so many times, don't count the Winterhawks out. They can make things happen in a heartbeat.
Last week in game 2, they were down 6-1 in the second period, and it was 6-5 by halfway through the third period. Kootenay went on to win that game 7-5. And then 2 overtime Kootenay wins on home ice. And that's why they have a 3-1 lead, and they lead here going to the third. As I mentioned earlier, 12-0 when they take a lead into the third. Portland is 0-5 in these playoffs when they trail after 2 periods. Fraser shoots the puck back in. Kootenay's been so good at protecting leads during these playoffs. See how they do here, but it'll be a tough one, I think, for Portland to penetrate this Kootenay team. If they thought it was tough in the first 2 periods, with Kootenay leading in the third, it becomes an even tougher chore.
You know, Matt Fraser has a little bit of unfinished business on that Kootenay Ice team. It's a tradition that when you get signed to National Hockey League contract, you purchase a gift for your team. Jared Stoll, John Nygren, they've bought a beautiful stereo system. Nigel Dodds got a cold tub, and the other guys have bought ping pong tables, etc. Fraser says he's still undecided what he's going to do for his hockey club. It's a nice little thing the players do. And has he been great for that hockey club? Yeah.
Shawanka from back of the net trying to work it in front, goes back to the blue line. Martin now to Leach. Leach takes a shot through traffic. That's knocked down by Johansson. Johansson gets the puck. We know how special a player he is. He's had such a great year here in Portland. Get the feeling that if the Winterhawks are to get back at even terms, it's going to take a special player like Johansson. It's going to take a Nino Niederreiter. Somebody's got to make a play here that's even more out of the ordinary than what they've been able to do, because otherwise Kootenay's not giving you anything.
Yeah, exactly. You got to take Kootenay out of their comfort zone. They're very comfortable right now, aren't they?
More comfortable than a 2-1 lead normally would be, it seems anyway.
Yeah, it's just they're so comfortable in their own skin. They're so comfortable in the way they play and the way they cover the ice and the things that they do, their battle level.
There's a chance and a shot that's knocked down. Johansson is apparently a little bit in pain over at the bench. He limped off on the last shift. Puck goes up in the air, lands into the neutral zone, and Rintoul's got it. The Ice leading 2-1. They're 2-0 in championship series. They've never lost once they got this far. In Portland, they're 2-6 and potentially could be 2-7 in their long history. Ross shot tipped out of play. So few scoring chances for this Portland team.
Yeah, and I missed it. We talked about maybe Coach Johnson juggling the lines up a little bit, but that might have been more out of necessity. I think Johansson takes this shot right in the ankle. Yeah, I remember he took a slash the other day in his hands. He got pretty upset about that. This one, a shot, I don't know. See if he comes back.
He'll be back.
He's got to be back.
Fraser trying to backhand it out, does, but he hit a glove at the bench, and that goes out of play. Kootenay 7-2 on the road in these playoffs, and Portland's home record 6-4. They've been real good on the road up until those 2 overtime losses. But in this building, I'd say just above average for a team that's this deep into the playoffs.
What a great example of Chris Knobloch has of players working with you and not for you. Sometimes, boy, there's a fine line, especially this great poise that Chris Knobloch has for this veteran Kootenay Ice team. Maybe the other night in the game in Cranbrook. He's got a lot of veterans on this hockey club. And he's just come in there and taken full control of his group. No European hockey players, no Americans on that Kootenay Ice team, 100% Canadian.
Outscored Portland in the series 21-16. Delay on the face-off. Shots in this game are 30-21 for the Ice. from the blue line. Pouliot puts it down. Peters trying to get it back. Could not get Jordan the puck. Now Leach. Peters back at the goal. Trying to get it to Boychuk. Comes around this side to Aronson. Around the back of the net. Goes all the way to Fraser at the other side. Up to Antilla. Antilla with Reinhardt. Antilla just will roll the puck back to the net. This is where Reinhardt tries to grind it out a little bit, but he couldn't keep the puck. Good job by Pouliot. Pouliot taking it off Reinhardt's stick. Got it inside the Kootenay blue line, but there are 4 ice back. And they put the Winterhawks back into their own zone. 3.5 minutes into the third period. Boomer back to get the puck. Fans were complaining there. They thought there should have been a penalty. Isman tries to backhand it in deep. Rutkowski gloved it down. Grady shoots it in. Johansson back out there now. Johansson back of the net. He and Leach battling for it. Berchi gets it back to Rutkowski. Rutkowski on the sharp angle. Throws it at the goaltender Lewin. And Lewin holds on to stop the play.
And again, Rutkowski knew as soon as he took that shot. You could tell his body language. I mean, it wasn't a scoring chance. It was what's called a shot on net. They're probably talking it over right now, Morrow and him, about maybe creating a little better chance. But, you know, again, when you're struggling, we showed you that in our highlight pack between periods. Get pucks on the net, even though maybe they aren't very good chances. But then, I think people that have watched the Portland Winterhawks, you become so accustomed to their great plays, their great moves inside the offensive zone. Now it's just kind of shots on goal.
And out to the neutral zone. King one-hands it in. Took a bit of a hit from Morrow. Morrow goes back to collect the puck. Joe Morrow, 14 assists in these playoffs. Gets the puck out through the neutral zone. Hit something, goes down the ice. So what do we have here? Is it an icing or... Yes, it is called icing with the face-off going back. I saw one of the linesmen kind of waving their arms, wondering if they've got too many men on the ice. But no, it's icing.
Dan, as you look at Joe Morrow going off for a rest, it's really going to be a question whether Duncan Siemens or Joe Morrow is the first selection as a defenseman from the Western Hockey League. As a matter of fact, there's 3 in that conversation all time. Siemens from Saskatoon, David Musil from Vancouver, and Joe Morrow from the Portland Winterhawks.
Boychuk comes out for Portland, rolls it forward, tries to give chase against Rintoul. Fraser got it to McNabb. McNabb around the far side to Reinhardt. Reinhardt behind the net to McNabb. Nearing the 5-minute mark of the third period, and so far not a scoring chance for Portland. As the Winterhawks are down by the 1 goal, they need a push. It feels, like we said in the break, like they're down more than 1, just the way the game's going. But they're only 1 shot away from tying. But it better be a good shot. Leipzig putting on the brakes. Plays it towards the line, but it's intercepted again. And Antilla had Eakin streaking, but he couldn't find Cody Eakin. There's a broken stick by Antilla. Carruth plays it into the far corner. Cody Eakin blocks the outlet pass by Pouliot. Eakin maintaining control, and this is what Kootenay is so good at doing. They'll keep this puck 200 feet down there unless they can get a scoring chance. There's one from the line, and that went off the side of the net.
They get the puck right back.
And right back it goes. They shoot it into the slot area. Eakin trying to jet it, and a quick shot by Cherwanko is stopped by Carruth. What a shift here for this line. King, Cherwanka, Eakin just keeping the puck. Tick, tick, tick. The clock winding down.
That was a clinic.
And it's not over yet as Leach puts it right back in again. I mean, we're 6 minutes into the period, and the Portland Winterhawks have 1 shot on goal. If they're going to come back here, something's got to break here. But I don't know how you break this Kootenay Ice team. We've been watching them for 3 rounds on Shaw, and they've not even bent, let alone broken.
And we don't want to suggest for 1 minute that this game is over. It's only 2-1, just 1 shot. But you know, I was just talking to the guys in the truck, Dan. What the Kootenay Ice do is they have forced the Portland Winterhawks into gliding. It seems like when they get the puck wherever they are, they want to get up the ice, they can't come up full speed. They can't use their speed. There always is somebody in the way. There's always somebody in position to check you. So you start that glide mode, and you're slowing your whole game down.
Another offensive zone face-off for Kootenay, and they'll skate right to the corner. Benoit back for Steele Boomer. I just marvel at teams protecting leads. I've always have over the years. I know you have as well. And we've seen so many great teams from this vantage point in Shaw. This Kootenay team's as good as some of the other great ones at protecting leads, and maybe better.
Well, you know, you may be a hockey club that doesn't have all the tools, but boy, you have so many of the right ones.
Look at that. Every lane is just clogged up. Benoit, his pass misses King. Cunningham, now to King. Knocked down. Leach just gets his stick on it enough to send Portland 200 feet from the Kootenay goal. Seems like the ice surface is uphill or against the wind here in the third period.
Oh yeah, that's exactly right.
King
You are skating against the wind.
off the goal post. Eakin almost had a huge insurance goal for Kootenay. Cody Eakin hitting the goal post. Leach keeping the puck in. Maybe in retrospect, in hindsight, a week ago, Bill, when we sat here and we were wondering if it was ring rust or not, I'm kind of thinking they were rusty.
Yeah, that allowed a lot of goals to be scored that night. Cody Eakin with that shot. You know, really good shooting forwards, Dan, are wingers when they get to the National Hockey League and are into pro hockey. And because their skating ability lets them get to those spots on the ice where they can use that shot, you saw a perfect example of that with Cody Eakin right there.
They hit the post. That's what Portland needs. They need something. Be close to a scoring chance and then maybe build off that. Their one shot came from the circle from about 30 feet out in this period. That's it. 33-22 the shot. Back to the blue line it goes. Leach takes the pass. Plays it down to Fraser. Reinhardt giving chase. Max Reinhardt in that corner. Joe Antilla. Trying to get it back to him, could not. Here comes Morrow. Morrow to Rutkowski. Rutkowski to Morrow. Morrow shoots it over top the net. Remember that energy when they were down 6-1 in that game and they kept coming and coming and they were coming on waves. It doesn't look like the same team right now.
No, you're absolutely right. It's just phenomenal that a team can kind of suck the life out of you like Kootenay's, doing. Still 11-25.
I know, and it's a one-goal game, but here's Reinhardt stealing it. Couldn't get a shot away.
Dan, one shot on goal this period by the Portland Winterhawks in a period that they trailed by one on home ice.
And it, as I said, was from well out. Here's Pouliot moving in. Pouliot couldn't get the pass to Ratty. And back the other way comes Isman. Isman will roll it in. Benoit, who's got more and more ice time as this series has moved along, or at least it seems from here. In there on the forecheck, but he can't keep the puck in. Berchi. Ratty, now Johansson, back to Pouliot. All those ice players just at the line, and now King and Pouliot have something going. A little love taps, they'll get the blue line. Puck goes down the ice. Kootenay charged with an icing.
Derek Pouliot maybe is one of the defensemen that's caught my eye throughout the whole series. And he is that 16-year-old from Weyburn, being dubbed a mini Ray Bourque. And you know what that generally means is you can do it all. He's been good defensively. He can jump into the play. And part of that great 16-year-old defensive group in the Western Hockey League, Morgan Riley, Moose Jaw, Griffin Reinhardt, Edmonton, Matt Dumba, Red Deer, Cam Severson, and Kelowna, all likely first-round draft picks at the end of next hockey season.
Almost halfway through the third period and still the one shot on goal for Portland. To repeat what I said earlier, the last regulation loss for Kootenay was March 29th. King with the puck. They've won 14 of their last 15 games played. Centering pass and a shot. Maybe Cruz got a piece of the Fraser shot. Martin puts it back in the net. Eakin. Now Fraser passes over to Martin. His shot, save, rebound in front, over top the net. Antilla with an opportunity to make it 3-1. Comes back to Martin once more. He just dumps it to the corner. Antilla with it. Now it's Cunningham. His lead pass. Niederreiter trying to get loose. Niederreiter still has it, but there's nobody with him as the Winterhawks were making a change because Kootenay had spent so much time down there on the previous shift. or at least the previous time up the ice. And there's a shot that goes wide by Fraser. It's Kootenay getting the better scoring chances, but maybe Leipzig can do something here. Rolls off his stick. Kootenay's on it again, and it's Fraser. Out to center. Aronson. In over the line. Aronson's shot. Lewin makes the save. Second shot on goal.
11 minutes into the period.
Maybe another one coming. Pouliot into the slot. Aronson takes the pass. I thought Peters had a chance to move and shoot it. Meantime, Pouliot's shot is blocked. Goes around the boards to Leipzig. Leipzig getting it back to Aronson. Aronson for Portland. Trying to make something happen here. Pouliot to Aronson. Wrist shot through the traffic, and Lewin is there to make the save with 8:40 to go in the third period. Lewin with that save. Matt Carruth at the other end making a save here to keep it a one-goal hockey game. WHL Finals on Shaw.
2-1 for the team in blue on the road. So close, it's like being a chapter away from a Pulitzer Prize. You just got to finish it off. Tyler Wotherspoon, great job here, giving Portland an early lead, 2:26 into the first period. Got the crowd in it, got everybody going into it. And then Steele Boomer in front of the net, deflects that puck, hits the crossbar, comes back down, ends up over the line, and then this great pass to Fraser on a power play late in the period. And again with Steele Boomer in front of the net, doing such a good job going to the net, causing traffic, and you just saw a while back a great job by Boomer throwing himself in front of his shot to block it.
Sure got to give this crowd credit. They're here in numbers. They sold it out. They've been making noise. They haven't had a lot to cheer about, but they recognize they're Winterhawks facing elimination, but are still just one goal down with 8.5 minutes to go in the third period. Rutkowski to Berchi. He missed it. Kane has it. Eakin now. Eakin in over the line. Eakin going hard to the net, and a backhand shot is stopped by Carruth, and it's an absolute must that Carruth stops everything from here on in.
What great speed to the outside. This is why they got him. This is what Cody Eakin brings to this hockey club. That's the separation we talk about. Get wide, get around the guy, and then cut hard to the net. But made that a little easier for Cody Eakin. He was on his backhand. Always a little easier to do, cutting around a defenseman with a puck on your backhand.
8 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. Cunningham against Reinhardt. Cunningham wins the faceoff. Here's Pouliot. Still believe Portland's going to get a couple chances here. Can't believe they're going to go through the last 8 minutes without getting something.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Dan. If you follow this game long enough, you know that the Winterhawks are going to get, I'm going to say, probably 3 chances. It might come with a goaltender out, but they're going to get some chances. That's the key, and they know it.
Cunningham in over the line.
And I don't call that a chance.
Mild one at best, but it's turned aside by Lewin, and Reinhardt is on it. I guess they just have to hope somewhere, somehow, Kootenay makes a mistake here, and they can just capitalize on one of their mistakes.
Exactly, one breakdown somewhere.
Isman in over the line, and a shot is handled by Carruth. He's got nowhere to go with it. Even the lanes are shut off for the goalie.
You know, even last game in Cranbrook, Dan, I thought Matt Carruth was terrific. Remember the first the overtime, he stopped his first 10 shots in that overtime. Really the only reason that I thought that the Portland Winterhawks were in it for as long as they were. And then obviously when Berchi took that penalty in the offensive zone, he couldn't hold the fort all night. He lost the game in overtime, but he's been good.
If you joined us late, Portland scored 2.5 minutes into the first period. It seemed like they would have more than one by now when you saw their quick start. Ratty now shot over top the net. Benoit Rintoul gets it. Out to center ice it goes. Just over 7 minutes remaining in the third period. Ratty and Boomer. They battle for the puck just down below us. And Kootenay so content to keep those battles going in the neutral zone, in the Portland zone. Stopped them from winding up, but Johansson brings it in over the line. His pass in skates again, and King gets it out to Cherwonka. Eakin's flying with them. Is there anybody faster in this league than Cody Eakin, especially in transition from defense to offense and vice versa? Eakin now to King, and his shot over top the net. I just marvel, as you did, Bill, throughout these playoffs. You'll see him deep in one zone, and next thing you know, he's way out there at his own blue line, breaking up something. Cody Eakin's had a special kind of playoff. One of the players, the big fish at the trading deadline. And he is 6 minutes away from a berth in the Memorial Cup. We'll see how long a 6 minutes it's going to be. Still, Portland, since we mentioned that they're going to get chances, still haven't had one. Around the boards, and that puck over top a stick. As I say, you just have to wait for a breakdown. You can't wait anymore. You got to get past that somehow. Antilla brings it in. Throws it in front, a shot, they score! Fraser again scores for Kootenay to make it 3-1 with 5:44 to go in the third period. It's the Kootenay Ice that get the big goal in the third period. They have insurance, and they are one step closer to the Memorial Cup.
Well, this is the way you move the puck, Dan. This is what you do coming into the offensive zone. Sure, the Kootenay Ice played really, really tough defensively, but here they come on the turnover. Right at the blue line, away they go. Now separate, get up to the outside. There you go, there's that separation. There's the three guys I've been talking about it the whole series. They come as a unit, they come as three people, and by the time Antilla has this time to find Fraser, he loses his check just enough to have his stick on the ice. Reinhardt in front gets a perfect view of it. He's a great spectator on that perfect line rush that's executed off that turnover by the Kootenay Ice.
Fraser,
unbelievable.
Second of the night for Fraser.
That's a goal for Fraser and the Ice with an assist for Antilla, 14-16 of the third.
Just the one assist. Antilla at 14-16 of the third period. 2 goals for Fraser, giving him 17 most goals of any player in the WHL playoffs. He's got 2 points tonight, gives him 26 points. That puts him into a tie for third in all the points. Johansson now in over the line. As Bill showed you off the top, when they were down 2 goals twice in Kootenay, Johansson brought them twice to within 1. Puck frozen in the Kootenay zone, 4:45 to go in this third period. And there's Mike Johnson, who's done a wonderful job rebuilding this Winterhawk team, but looking on, wondering what he can pull out of the hat in terms of breaking down this Kootenay team so late in the third.
Yeah, runner-up Western Hockey League Executive of the Year was Mike Johnson to Lauren Mulliken. And he just hasn't had an answer to this Kootenay Ice team. And folks, Mike Johnson should not feel like the Lone Ranger. There's not many people that haven't had an answer come playoff time. It's just really quite remarkable. It's just, I'm sorry, I don't mean to chuckle, but it's seldom I've seen a team with such domination. I don't mean on the scoreboard.
No, just in
territorially
all
on
three
the ice,
zones.
on all 3 zones.
But Bill, we saw it. You've already recognized or reminisced about that Saskatoon series. You know, we liked them in the first period of game 1. We quite liked them in the second period. By the third period, we got attached to them.
Yeah.
And they haven't looked back since. 4 straight against Saskatoon, 4 straight against Medicine Hat, and 4 in a row against Portland, with their only loss being game 1 in overtime. King
They're not finished yet.
to Eakin. And that's, of course, if this score holds, but there's just no evidence right now that it's not going to. 3:40 to go in the third. It's funny, when Kootenay had a 6-3 lead here in game number 2, it looked like the shakiest 6-3 lead you've ever seen in your life. And then when they took a 2-1 lead into the third period here tonight, it looked like the safest 2-1 lead.
Yeah, it's crazy,
it's just bizarre. You just don't know what you're going to see. Here's Cunningham. How many more shifts left in Craig Cunningham's great WHL career? Offside at the line.
You know, the Ice are such a team, Dan, that they just don't have what I would call big stars on the team, but they got so many players that are huge, huge parts of the team. And the thing about the Ice is I've watched them as much, obviously, as you have, is you get the feeling, honestly, that there isn't a person on the ice on that team that cares who gets the credit.
No, it's very balanced.
Totally balanced.
Starts in goal with Lewin. McNabb, the stud at the back, but he's not the only good defenseman back there. And then the group of forwards, like you say, it's just a different hero many, many nights. Ismond in over the line. He was a big hero the other night. Ismond going hard, hit the side of the goal. 2:45 to go in the third period. Last year, Calgary won on home ice. The year before, Kelowna won on home ice. 08, Spokane won on the road. That's the last road team to capture the WHL championship. And it's hard not to think of Jeff Chenouth right now and what might be going through his mind with the championship trophy named after his late and great father. And I talked to him before this series, and he admitted to me this was extra special, having a chance to compete for that trophy with his dad's name on it. Here's Cunningham at the side of the net trying to get loose, could not. Under 2 minutes remaining in the third period.
And watching that play by Joey Leach, I've watched a couple tonight. You really get to appreciate how good a defenseman Joey Leach is. Defensively, stellar.
Goalie to the bench, extra attacker for Portland. There's a centering pass, puck goes wide. Minute and 35 seconds to go. Cunningham from back of the goal. Cunningham working hard, continuing to work and fight for the Portland Winterhawks, but it goes over top his head down the ice. Won't be far enough for icing as Morrow goes back to get it. Joe Morrow with the puck. 1:20 to go. Johansson wants it. Johansson says, give me that biscuit, I want to go. Here's Ryan Johansson going, and stopped as it rolled off his stick, and his stick was broken, and he waves his hands at the referee. He's had a frustrating series, Ryan Johansson. Final minute of the third period. The Kootenay Ice looking for their third trip to the Memorial Cup. Have a 3-1 lead in the final minute as Berchi takes a sharp angle shot. Turned aside, puck loose. There'll be a race for it here. Trying to get it is Ismond. Empty net for Kootenay. He scores! And they go wild at the ice bench. The Kootenay Ice have a 4-1 lead and are going to the Memorial Cup. What a scene over there at the ice bench. 4 straight goals. It'll be 4 straight wins. 4-1 in the series, 4-1 in the hockey game, and 41 seconds to go in the third.
Well, I'll tell you, there isn't many people sitting on their seats in the Rose Garden. You've got everybody standing, and I gotta believe, no matter how much you pull for this Portland Winterhawk team, and what a season they've had, 50 wins, 19 losses, those people there have nothing but admiration, not only for their Portland Winterhawk team and the job Mike Johnson has done, but you have to believe they're marveling, absolutely marveling at the work the Ice have done in this game here tonight.
So Ismond scoring the goal. Another one for him, and that gives him 5. He was +3 in game 4, and he's picked up where he's left off. They're still celebrating over there at the Kootenay bench. Unbelievable playoff. They will go 16-3. Imagine, they were down 2-1 to Moose Jaw. And since then, they have gone wild on the score sheet. Eakin, Reinhardt, McNabb. Look at McNabb plus-minus coming into tonight.
Playoff MVP, Dan, I can guarantee you could throw 2 more sequences of 3 up there, and they'd all be good choices.
Well, where's Nathan Lewin's name?
Exactly. I don't think Matt Fraser was on there. And I'm not to disparage the graphic, it's just that's how deep this team is.
Ross gets a misconduct. I'm not sure why he got that, but we'll leave that alone for now.
40 shots on goal for the Kootenay Ice here at the Rose Garden.
So they're going to win the series 4-1. They lead 4-1. We'll let the seconds count down, but it's a big night in the Kootenays. An even bigger night up in the hockey heavens as Jeff Chenoweth's Ice have just won the Ed Chenoweth Cup in 2011.
What a team.
Three times here in the final, they win all three. The Portland Winterhawks historically are now 2-7 once reaching the WHL finals, but the Winterhawks are back. That's a big story, thanks to Mike Johnson, especially Bill Gallagher, their owner. They've just done a terrific job bringing this Winterhawk organization back to where they had used to been so often, so high in the standings. As you'll see, the Winterhawks now number them down on one knee. I'm sure that this is a especially sad time for them because they had such high hopes to get to the Memorial Cup. But as you can see them around Carruth, it's always that way, isn't it? One scene at one end, so emotional in terms of sadness, fighting back the tears, and tears of happiness at this side as they put on the hats and they get ready for the handshake here. And how about Jeff Chenoweth, the general manager? You knew how proud a moment it was for him when the trophy was named after his father, and that trophy was named after him before he had passed away. And now on this night, May 13th, Friday the 13th, lucky Friday the 13th for the Chenoweth family. We're thinking of them tonight as their son Jeff, his team, and as Bill said, team with a capital T, his team has captured the Ed Chenoweth Cup. Won't that be quite a banner raising next year at the Recplex? And there's Craig Cunningham, his fabulous career coming to an end. There's Chenoweth, Jeff Chenoweth with the hat. And finally the handshake. And the Winterhawks patiently waiting for it. And Antilla's going to lead the charge. And away they go. There's Joe Antilla. Overtime goals twice. Nathan Lewin in the handshake right now. I put him down, Bill, as my MVP of the playoffs.
Absolutely. Joe Antilla. I mean, overtime goals.
But Lewin was so good. Well, let's see what the owner feels like with Cam Moon. Here is Jeff Chenoweth, who soon is going to be lifting the Ed Chenoweth Cup.
Jeff, this has got to be a pretty special moment, not only for your hockey club, but a trophy that bears your father's name. This has got to be really special.
Tough to put into words, no question about that. Credit goes to Chris Knobloch and his coaching staff and 23 players that have just bought into what he's been selling. Our leadership group is second to none, and it showed tonight. I'm so proud of this team and proud of our organization, and from the scouts to the office staff, this is what it's all about, and get a chance to go back to the Memorial Cup, and as the Ed Chenoweth Cup champions, that's what it's all about.
When did you really start to see the ball start to roll? Was it before the playoffs started? Was it in that first round?
Actually, it was about March 8th. We played Moose Jaw. We beat them 5-1, but we had come off a 9-2 defeat to Saskatoon 3 nights before. And you know, I can say it now. I questioned a few things. I questioned myself, but met with the core leadership group. It's so strong all year, and we just took it from there. We said we would face adversity at some time in the playoffs. We did. We were down 2-1 in the crush can. We came back and started a long streak, and you know, it's something. You get on a roll, you got to go with it. And I'm just so happy for the kids right now. That's what it's all about.
All right, Jeff, congrats. Thanks for this.
Thanks, Cam.
Jeff Chenoweth, go upstairs to Dan and Bill.
And soon we'll be going down to Joey as well. But I mean, if that's your only adversity back in round one, you know you've had almost a textbook clean in terms of a playoff, a run here. Let's go down to Joey Kenwer. Joey.
Thank you very much, Stan. Matt Fraser finishes off the WHL playoffs as the leading goal scorer in the postseason. You came up big tonight when you needed to be. Just talk about the wave of emotion you're feeling right now after the victory here on the road.
You know what? Words can't even explain it. I mean, we're having so much fun with what we're doing here. Got to give Portland a lot of credit. I mean, they didn't stop there. You know, our game plan going in the third was keep things simple and get pucks in and out. You know, was lucky enough to find the back of the net there to create a little separation, and from there on we just kept things simple.
This looked like the ultimate night where there were no passengers on the ice train. Everybody played a role tonight, didn't they, to get the victory?
Absolutely. I mean, this whole playoffs, everyone's played a role here. Everyone's done a fantastic job of getting the job done. Everyone goes out there wanting to be the best player on the ice. And, that's what's going to give us success.
I know you have a quick shout out to some family members back home.
Yeah, actually, my mom and dad, they're sitting in Red Deer. I know they're probably just as excited as we are. So I just want to say hi to them. And my sister's in Calgary. Then I also got some buddies, Brett Patchett, Colin Archer, Justin Weller, Michael Stickland. All of them are probably watching here right now. So I just want to say hi to them.
Congratulations. Get ready for the presentation. Good luck in the Memorial.
Thank you very much.
Matt Fraser, boy, did he come up big tonight, guys, with a couple of goals here in the victory over the Hawks.
After getting the overtime winner in game number 4, 20-year-old Matt Fraser, and there was no passengers on this entire playoff run that I could ever see on the Kootenay ice.
There's an old Hopi Indian saying that one finger can't lift a pebble, and I don't know if I've ever seen a team work together as a unit, as a group, honestly, more. And we've seen championship teams for since we've been doing this on Shawdan. It's been back since 04, 05. And
there it is. Look at that.
There it is. And
what a thing of beauty. And look at the name on it, the Ed Chenoweth Cup.
The best team of teamwork that I think I've seen.
The MVP presentation will be first. Well, this is an interesting one, more so than any other year that I can remember.
The commissioner of the WHL,
as they announced Ron Robinson's arrival onto the carpet here. There he is, the commissioner of the WHL. When Calgary won the Chenoweth Cup last year, Ed so long had resided in Calgary, and then Kelowna won it the year before. It was such an emotional night for Bruce Hamilton because his best friend was Ed Chenoweth. Spokane won the first Chenoweth Cup when they renamed the trophy back in 08.
The presentation
and now
of the 2011 Western Hockey League Playoff Series,
but let's hear the
Most
MVP.
Valuable Player Award to be presented by Mr. Richard Dirksen. The Most Valuable Player Award is presented to the individual judged to be the most outstanding player in the 2011 WHL playoffs. The Most Valuable Player Award for the 2011 WHL playoffs is number 31, Nathan Lewin of the Kootenay.
Well, he got my vote. I guess I wasn't the only one. Look at his numbers through this. 16 wins, 3 losses. His goals against about 2.25. I haven't calculated tonight. He allowed only 16 goals in the entire WHL final on 170 shots.
Amazing watching him sometimes. Got rid of the technical stuff, just made the save.
So Nathan Lewin, the MVP of the playoffs.
On behalf of Cal Tire and Husky, presenting sponsors of the WHL Championship Series, Mr. Ron Robinson and Mr. Richard Dirksen will now present
some plaques being handed out here. There's a great photo off right there, and there's a good look at the plaque of the champions. The Chenoweth Cup.
That's a leadership group that Jeff Chenoweth talked about. And you don't just have 3 leaders on a hockey club. Anybody that's had a championship team tells you there's 5, 6, 7, 8 leaders on a hockey club, and that Kootenay Ice team has them.
Well, here comes the big moment. Braden McNabb, the captain, will be presented the Ed Chenoweth Trophy. Let's listen.
Canadian Hockey League President, Mr. Ed Chenoweth, who was the driving force behind the remarkable growth and development of major junior hockey in Canada and the United States over the past 4 decades. Mr. Chenoweth, who passed away in April of 2008, was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in the Builder category in November 2009. And now for the presentation of the Ed Chenoweth Cup, presented annually to the WHL champions. I would now ask Western Hockey League Commissioner Mr. Ron Robinson to present the Ed Chenoweth Cup to the captain of the Kootenay Ice.
From Davidson, Saskatchewan, there is Braden McNabb. The smile says it all. Who's he going to give it to first? Well, here comes Jeff Chenoweth. And how fitting is that? There's Jeff touching the Ed Chenoweth Trophy. Yes, 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 give it to him.
Which will be held in
This one's for you, Dad.
through 29.
What a feeling, huh? This could be one heck of a representative in the Memorial Cup then. You know what? I mean, it is a short series when you're talking. It's a, Memorial Cup. It's not a series where you're going to play 5, 7, 6, 7 games. But I think even in a sprint, this Kootenay Ice team, like the Memorial Cup is going to be tough to beat.
What a bus ride home that'll be with that extra passenger there.
It'll get its own seat, believe me.
Quiet building here now, but a lot of the Winterhawk fans have stayed to watch this presentation, and why not? And there's the victory lap that is on its way right now. And they are showing it to some Kootenay supporters in that corner down to our left. And in fact, that's where they're going to stay for a little bit to share that with some of the fans that came here. Let's hear from the head coach down with Cam Moon.
Here with Chris Knobloch from the Kootenay Ice. Chris, trying to put into words this WHL championship.
That's pretty tough. This is pretty special, and to do this my first year coaching, I'd like to thank Jeff for giving me the opportunity to do this, and my years working with Peter Anholt and Mark Hollick, they've taught me a lot, but I'm really proud of our boys that we have on our team. They're really special.
You set the bar really high, didn't you, right off the hop? You still got some work to do, too, though.
Wow. We'll just see. We'll take it one year at a time, but this is really special, and I'm not sure this is going to happen. Or coach many years and not do it again, but I know I'll enjoy this.
All right, Chris, thanks very much for this.
Thanks, Cam.
All right, over to Joey.
Thank you very much, Cam. Nathan Lewin is the most valuable player of the 2011 WHL playoffs, and we talked about it with Matt Fraser a little while ago. You get the honor, but it was a total team effort this spring, wasn't it, for the Ice?
This could go to anybody on the team. I mean, so many guys played so well. I mean, so many guys stepped up at the end, Eakin, Fraser, McNabb. Like, I can name anybody and they could have this award.
You've had a tough run of things here in your WHL career, battling through injury. It's been your first full, complete season healthy. How good does it feel to cap it off here in a championship moment?
Unbelievable. I have to thank God for what he did when, going through all that. He was unbelievable. So here I am.
You get over and give him that photo, okay? There's the MVP, Nathan Lewin, going over to celebrate with his teammates, WHL champions for 2011.
Dan, what kind of guy is he? He helps us out as a tutor with the guys in high school back in Cranbrook. Former Ice Scholastic Player of the Year is Nathan Lewin. So, I mean, really, to get that award is, I think, even a little extra special for that young man.
From Abbotsford, which is not far from, it's in the Fraser Valley near Chilliwack, for those that aren't in British Columbia. So Lewin had a good slide into that team picture, and this is a photo that the Edmonton Oilers invented all those years ago in the early 80s when they were winning Stanley Cups, and every championship team does this now, and this, in the minds of many who win the championship, is the best photo of them all. The one that feels the most like the team effort that it was. And this was an incredible team effort. We say that it seems every year, but I mean, sorry for the cliche, but you just can't believe, if you've watched them as much as we have, just how balanced this team is, how structured this team is, how incredibly dangerous this team still could be when they get to the Memorial Cup. Let's find out more about that with Joey downstairs. He has Cody Eakin.
Thank you very much, Dan and Bill. Well, Cody, I knew that when you were traded from the Swift Current Broncos prior to the WHL trade deadline, you knew that you were going to a cup contender. Did you ever think your team would be this dominating in the win column compared to the loss column this spring?
I don't think so. I don't think you expect any that at any time, during the season and during playoffs. So it was nice to finally cap it all off for this.
Did you have to take a long time to realize how special a group that was in the dressing room once you came over in the trade?
It's so evident. I got here, it took a couple games to get used to, but I can see it already. And I think by the time when I first got here, it's such a different team, and the distance we've traveled since then, and since the first round against Moose Jaw, where we dropped a few games, it's just incredible how much we've come together and played as a team.
You played a ton of hockey over the past calendar year. WHL World Junior Championships, some NHL preseason, an American Hockey League Championship. Now you're going after the Memorial Cup. Is this about the best way you can cap off a major junior season?
Yeah, I can't think of any other way there or any other thing that I could be a part of. It's such a special feeling, and not many guys get a chance to do what I've done over the last year. I'm very grateful, and I'm looking forward to Mississauga.
Congratulations. Good luck representing the league out in Ontario.
Thanks a lot.
Cody Eakin, boy, was he valuable for this hockey team in the playoffs. Another guy that was a very, very valuable player in an unsung role was a guy that had a memorable post-game interview with Cam Moon after Game 4. Does he have what it takes to continue that drama tonight? Let's throw it to Cam with Jesse Ismond. Cam?
Well, thank you, Joey. And yes, I had to find one Jesse Ismond. We're getting plenty of reaction from your post-game interview the other night, which was outstanding, I might add. Another great effort here tonight. Talk about the way your team played.
You can't say enough about our crew in the locker room. We're phenomenal. So many guys banged up, laying it all on the line shift after shift. It's an incredible feeling right now.
How about the goaltending of Nathan Lowe?
Unreal. It starts with him. It starts from the goalie out, and you can't say much more about the guy. He's played phenomenal for us.
Going into the playoffs, you take on the Moose Jaw Warriors in the first round, and they were a very good opponent. And then you guys just seemed to roll and catch fire. What was it in that first round that got you rolling?
I just think the physical style that they play matched ours. Got us geared up for the playoffs the next few series. That's small rink in Moose Jaw there, and helped us get ready for the next series. And after we got rolling, we couldn't be stopped.
How much are you looking forward to the Memorial Cup?
Oh, we're excited. We got an excited group. Gonna get some rest here, and we're gonna go guns a-blazing.
All right, thanks for the PG version this time.
You're welcome.
All right, Jesse Ismond. We go up to Dan and Bill.
The great Kootenay Ice franchise beat Spokane in 6 in the year 2000, beat Red Deer in 6 in 2002, and do it in 5 here in 2011. What a great playoff series for the Kootenay Ice. More to come on Shaw right after this. Just a few remaining moments from Portland. That's what the trophy is all about. That's the treat that you and I have, Bill, every year of watching the journey of this WHL. We started way back in September. We watched all these teams get ready, and it's just so fun to watch how they get better and better. Then the trading deadline comes, and you see after the deadline, and the Kootenay Ice are the kings of the castle here in 2011, and they should be a great representative in the Memorial Cup.
I think they'll be maybe as good a representation as this league has had, and they just don't have any holes in their game that we can see. I mean, look at the places they've won. They won 2 in Saskatoon. They won 2 in Moose Jaw. They won 2 in Medicine Hat. They've come down to the Rose Garden, won 2 here. They can win on the road. They're tough enough. They defend leads. They come from behind, and to me, there's not a whole lot more you have to do to be a championship team.
I know, and maybe years from now we'll all reflect back, what's the greatest team of this era? I mean, last year's Calgary Hitmen, we thought they were great. The Kelowna Rockets before that, the Spokane Chiefs before. Every year this league seems to put a great representative into the Memorial Cup.
Well, the thing about the ice that I haven't seen in a couple of the other WHL championship teams is they are maybe, from my point of view, the hardest to play against. There's been maybe teams that have had more skill, but they just have this Kootenay Ice team is just unbelievably tough to play again. And isn't that fun to see guys with their cell phones on the ice? But I agree, a totally terrific representation to the Memorial Cup from the Western Hockey League.
Well, again, great to work with you, Bill, this year from the Catbird seat in the championship final. Can't wait to do it again next year.
Yeah, it's been fun. Thanks.
All right, as we wrap this up, again, we want to salute the Kootenay Ice, but before we do that, wow, there they are, the Rosebuds. I also want to thank all those connected with our Shaw telecast, not only tonight, not only through this series, but all season long. It's been a pleasure to bring you the WHL on Shaw, and a great pleasure to watch the Kootenay Ice, who beat Moose Jaw in round 1 in 6 games. Then beat the very high-scoring Saskatoon Blades in round 2 in 4 games. They beat Medicine Hat in round 3 in 4 games. And then after dropping the first one in overtime, they win 4 in a row against the Portland Winterhawks. Our congratulations to the 2011 Ed Chanel Trophy champion winners. It's the Kootenay Ice. And for all of us at Shaw, Dan Russell saying so long from Portland.